Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and welcome to the 2026 Players League Football Finals, live from the NFL Draft, one of the biggest stages in all of sports, where the future of football is being decided as we speak. And today, we're going to showcase some of the students that are the future of creativity, storytelling, and innovation as well. Over the last 8 weeks, we've had 17 teams from all across the country be able to lock in and get the job done here at the Players League football program, combining esports competition with real-world content creation, for example, as well as that career-focused learning in addition to that. So this experience is more than just competition, of course. It's about how students think, how they create, how they're able to collaborate together and create an awesome product at the end of the day. Today, we're going to take you through that full journey and ultimately celebrate the next generation of creators, competitors, and future leaders as well. So whether you're joining us here live at the draft itself, or if you're in the classroom, or if you're just at home watching and tuning in with us as well, we're excited to be here and get things going. We got a great show, guys. I'm excited to get things kicked off here. And so let's go ahead and get to it. My name is Chris Lee, and I'll be hosting here today. We've got the Director of Education, Mr. Justin Ellis. Always a pleasure to catch up with you, man.
Yeah, it's good to see you again, Chris. Man, I'm glad to be in person, doing this all again. A third time going through this National Players League experience, and we're back to the commercial creation now. I didn't get to be out here for it live last time.
That's right.
I was virtual
Yeah.
at a wedding, so I am so glad to be out here with y'all in person this time around.
Glad And Amon, you were here with us as well last time around. Glad to have you back, man.
Yeah, it was fun because, to see the faces of the kids and the families that were there to make the trip to Green Bay, Wisconsin, being that, the tradition and all the prestige behind that part, where that was stage number one, then the whole Players League was stage number two, knowing that they competed in Madden, their Super Bowl commercials kind of final finish, and to see where they're going to finish in the point standings and all that was the fun part, to see how they talked about how they got ready for every event, in terms of the game, actual playing Madden, and actual getting ready to write and to run a show for their commercials and stuff. So it was I say all in all a good time last year, and looking to duplicate it this year too.
It's awesome, man. And before we get into the competition, though, we have to discuss, let's take a step back. Let's talk about the program itself. What is Players League all about, and how we got here to kind of, your point, highlight some of those things. First of all, it was built as a journey. How do we connect sports, esports, education, bring those all together into one unified experience? And Justin, I think it's been very successful over the first year.
Yeah, absolutely. Being able to give students these hands-on learning experience was, while also not just giving them a curriculum or something that they can just look at online, but bringing educational specialists virtually to them in the space has been, I think, a huge game changer. And I heard that from some of our students as they were here for the draft and for the experiences we have going on right now. It is a differentiator when you're able to spend actual time with a person, going back and forth with ideas, actually learning from them, and then having that ability to execute on a major project, making a commercial. And going back to even last year, being able to make, new entrepreneurial ideas, being able to take on this variety of different world issues and executing at a high level on something this early on in a student's career can really shape the pathways of their future, figuring out, hey, maybe I want to go into this degree field. Maybe I want to use this skill to have a part-time job on the side. Maybe I want to make my own content and build my own brand. There's just so much opportunity with these kinds of skills that it's really exciting to see how students are outputting that.
To see them collaborate is super cool, and to have that mentorship too, because listen, Amon, I've talked to the students. They get super excited when you have the Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher being able to be a voice for education as well. That's super important for them too.
Yeah, that was something that, me growing up, when I had mentors in my life, it was coaches, it was teachers. I remember one time being a Boys and Girls Club kid in North Omaha, LL Cool J came in to talk to us.
Nice.
To have people like that in your lives that kind of give you a pathway on what they did to become successful in whatever it is, right? And they kind of give you the learning tools and little tips to do this. Work hard, dedication, be consistent. And so these opportunities right now is then given to the kids, where if they use them, they start practicing now, then that consistency becomes a lot easier than instead of, kind of pushing it off and waiting until later in life. But when you start doing it now, when you don't have many things to do, you don't have a family, you just have, you do have a family supporting you, but you just have your high school, you don't have a job, you got a little bit more time to focus on being a kid, and then focusing on the big stuff that'll help you get to become successful eventually later in life.
Exactly, because it's not just like another lecture that you
Correct.
get with Players League. You get the Players League, it's hands-on. You get that experience. You get to be with one another as well as a team and build that. Communication's tough, and in this program, we'll talk about it too. Time management might be the toughest part of it all, because when you're collaborating, man, you run out of time. It's kind of tough. Ahmad, you said even with your content creation, it's kind of tough to
Yeah.
keep it within a window that you're given, right?
Always, yeah. I'm learning. I've got my daughter here. She's in the background. I remember doing some IRL clips with her and going too long on them. A minute. Doing that. She has to edit that down to 10 seconds. I'm like, okay, that's what I got. I just got to do mini clips, and she'll put it all together to make a minute. So I got to do 7 to 8 seconds, maybe 10 seconds at the most, to make a bigger clip that's really good for IRL short form content.
That's right.
And then it comes off a little bit better on that, and it obviously saves her time in editing, which, as we know, editing. A lot of people, they will win Academy Awards for editing something. So I gotta be aware of that now. So.
Exactly. Got to be ready, prepped. And speaking of which, let's talk about the program itself in particular, this Players League football program. Justin, you obviously had a huge hand in this as well as the commissioner, Amon, so I'll get both of your thoughts. But Justin, walk us through the program. What were these students going through at the end of the day?
Yeah, so a lot of what Stay Plugged In is focused on is kind of being at this intersection of gaming, workforce development, career technical education. We want to be able to teach students different skills to allow them to execute at a high level on whatever they want to do in the future and help them discover what future career paths are out there. And a student may come into the program, absolutely love it, say, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be involved and engaged with. Some might be in the middle and say, maybe it's something I want to do as a side hustle or do for fun or use like in my school projects. And some students may say, hey, this area really wasn't for me. But that's kind of the beauty. All of those are desired outcomes at the end of the day. If I can have a student say, hey, content creation's not for me, I can say, okay, let's talk about AI and entrepreneurship. Let's talk about aviation and drones. Let's talk about cybersecurity. We can talk about all these different other industries until you find that right fit. So it's a really good way to help funnel down a student's decision making so that students aren't going into, post-secondary and saying, I don't know if I want to go to school. I don't know if I want to get a certification. I don't know what the next step is for me. We don't want students to sit there and feel helpless and like they weren't prepared properly for what happens when they graduate from the high school level. So with that, we're doing a lot of work in providing, educational specialists for not only Players League, but individual programs along the way, using gamified learning experiences where we're connecting using tools like Fortnite, like Madden, to get students engaged on another level. And something that's been really special this year is that we're not only talking about esports students with this. We're talking about students who are interested in just learning about content creation or learning about AI and being able to have them even pick up Fortnite or Madden and compete in those as well. And they're drawing new connections with groups they would have never talked to otherwise. So there's a really cool intersection there that ultimately leads to creating a commercial. This year, commercial is around Players League itself. So students were tasked with designing an actual commercial around Players League, going through storyboarding, going through filming, and going through video editing to tell the story of what Players League is about in at least some aspect. I made that very clear, and this will be important as we get into the commercials, is that I want us to focus on any portion of Players League. They could have done the Madden, they could have done the Fortnite, they could have done the STEM and commercial making, they could have done the whole thing. So we really leave that up to them to figure out what portion of Players League really connects with them and allow them to execute on it.
That's awesome. Yeah, having that unique perspective or like what is your interest? That's what it is at the end of the day. And Amon, it's very important, especially because I know you led a college program. Seeing these high school students, if they have that preparation moving into collegiate esports or even just college in general,
Correct.
talk about how important this preparation really is.
Yeah, it's something that then I don't have to hit. I'm trying to recruit them and find out, oh, they have this in this background. So that's one less thing as a coach when I'm developing an esports player, because I'm not just developing an esports player, and I'm developing somebody that then after college, they are now a well-rounded individual that could go into the workforce or start their own company or whatever, or own project. So I'm looking for those type of little, I say, details and attributes about them to say, hey, look, they already understand this. Now I could take them to the next level and throw this at them. Be, hey, you want to you already did this in high school. How about you commentate the next Fortnite match we have for our team here on campus?
That's right.
And just see how you feel and how you like it. So then that's another skill. Just, they just learn, and now I can bump them up a little bit. And just for everybody, like you mentioned, Justin, where they can find out if they really like it or they don't like it. If it makes them feel comfortable or they uncomfortable about it. Because at the end of the day, having experiences like this, you find out, okay, look, that thing I did in Pittsburgh, I didn't like it. But I do know I like this about that, about the program or about competing. You find that spot, and that's the biggest thing. And you mentioned too, Justin, when you coming out of you coming out of high school, you kind of know where you want to go. But sometimes it's a gap year thing now. Kids do, and that now is that year you can really look and think about what you want to do and put yourself in the right position, because now you're doing something more close to your heart, more passionate about it, and then you'll follow through with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. And you can think of it in many different aspects too, because these students will also be here live on stream with us too. And so me as a host, maybe that's the thing that kind of resonates with them as well. I want to be part of like the media, or if at the very least get media trained and be able to answer those questions too. Yeah. So all of this weighs really, really strongly as far as their future. Build a resume at the end of the day. But let's take a look, because we know that Players League has been expanding, so I'd love to kind of break it down. What did that experience look like over the past, 8 weeks here? We had 17 teams across the nation, so we're talking about, Nebraska, Connecticut, North Carolina. Justin, it grew like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about like Indiana as well. It was a super major factor as part of that. We had Massachusetts as part of it this time around. There has just been huge expansions across the nation of interest in this program, and it's been also really cool. We've had some schools who want to field multiple teams. We have some groups that wanted to bring in 24-plus students to be able to be part of this program. And we've brought in a lot of newer, unique programs as well. We've brought in our first Boys and Girls Club to be part of the league as part of that. We have brought in our first middle schools to be part of the league as part of that.
Never too young.
Yeah, right, exactly. And which is even better, because now they're getting even more Players League experiences to help narrow that down. If we're starting earlier, they're going to figure out that pathway much quicker.
Be pros,
Way quicker.
Yeah, exactly. So it's super impactful to be able to not only work with high schools now, but work with this unique range of different students and experiences and backgrounds and locations, all within an 8 to 10 weeks with breaks program throughout the time, and going through this semi-rigorous, I would say, curriculum. And I hear this from students all the time, is that, storyboarding, most students make that through very easily. You get to filming, though. There's a lot of different ideas in the room. There's a lot of creative thinkers. Filming has by far been harder than video editing almost, it feels like, to some extent, because they're passionate about it, because they love it. These students love being on camera. They love coming up with creative ideas. And it's great to see them kind of just free-form think through that. There's obviously some level of pressure just to be successful, because you want to qualify to go to this experience right here. But at the same time, they feel relaxed about it, because they know they're having a lot of fun. This is something they've chose to do extra or as part of a class. So it's really cool to see them take on that level of professionalism, but also still have kind of that, that student wonder that you still have, and taking the creative direction and having that fun with it.
And that's right. And it is a rigorous process, and yet they still come up with some incredible products. We got to see it last year, Amon. These commercials of last year and this year, they're only getting better. They already were pretty good.
Oh, yeah. We're watching the ones for this event here from last year. creativity, originality, and just knowing how to time a transition and timing of all those little details you add to a film or a short form or long form or whatever. It's showing that, man, these kids learn fast, and which is good, because then that learning fast can then take it to the next level, and then we'd probably be looking at the next Spielberg or somebody in here, creating content that's on a basic level, but then actually taking it to the next level on their own, basically.
Yeah, and like being your own leader. We're going to see some future leaders in here too, leading a crew, in addition to doing kind of pieces on their own, figuring it out, but knowing that there's support at the end of the day too. And you said it was a rigorous process. Let's go ahead and talk about it here, because weeks 1 through 5 in particular, that's when you're really getting your feet wet, especially if you're new. I know we have some returning schools like Curran's here in the finals yet again, which is super cool, but you also have some new faces, so they need to be able to learn these skills early. So weeks 1 through 5, Justin, was all about really just kind of getting the fundamentals down first.
Yeah, exactly. You're focused on that storyboarding aspect. What do I want to focus on within Players League? What do I want my concept to be? Talking about, hey, what camera angles do I want to use? What shots do I want to have throughout the process? Those are the pivotal moments that if you set that rough draft foundation early, you're going to be successful down the line. And students already feel that with, like, their English classes and such, doing rough drafts and writing. It's the same kind of concept, but on a much different level, and it shows that, like, the rough drafts that you're doing in your English class are important. Like, you may hate them, you may not be about it, but it is important to your overall process. And then going in and taking that storyboard and then executing on it, filming, creating that raw footage. One of the differences that I don't think we've had a chance to really highlight yet from last year versus this year is we've taken a stronger focus on AI engagement throughout this as well, with the storyboards, being able to create images with ChatGPT, being able to go to Gemini AI and make images. We taught them schools that are used in their classroom setting already and taught them how to advance those skills, basically. So with that, they're able to use AI to create their storyboards, able to use AI with the video editing process on the back end in that week 6 through 8. They're now learning, at least at the bare minimum, what the AI tools are, and we're not requiring it, though. We're letting students decide, do I think AI is worth the effort to do this project? And I will tell you, surprisingly, the majority chose not to use AI at all throughout their process, at least not on their storyboard or in terms of their actual video edit, which was a very almost like experiment. Interesting to see the kind of involvement of AI in the classroom over time, but seeing that students still feel like their own personal work is going to come out on top in the end.
You still have to have good prompts too with the AI in addition to that, and learn what certain AIs actually have certain strengths as well. I mean, there's a lot of depth that goes into AI these days, and maybe just taking that natural route, figuring it out yourself, getting those details to understand how it works behind the scenes is a good thing to have, Amon.
Yeah, I mean, I understand how if they took the AI and just say, you know what, this is something I maybe just put it to the side so I can learn how I can create something first. And then because I've dealt with students when I was coaching at Nebraska as well, and Lakeland, when AI became a thing at Nebraska, I remember how some of the students would basically, oh man, don't use AI. You know, you should do it this way, the natural way, or the way you get taught in the class then. But I'm like, hey, AI is efficient. You know, it does help you get through a project a little bit faster. So just remember, keep that in the back of your mind if you had to hit a deadline, and maybe you're a little late because you had other projects in front of you. Maybe throwing AI to, like I said, be more efficient, but understand that it's there as a tool. You don't have to, have it to where it overtakes everything that you do. That's a part of the whole process. Just know it's a tool there you can pull out and use every now and then.
You gotta be the driving force,
Yeah, and I was just going to add, the students that did end up using AI, they still came out with actually really solid products, too. They were extremely competitive products. They came out on the commercial side with AI. So, like, whether they used AI, whether they didn't, it didn't seem to impact whether the student was successful or not. It just helped those students reach that end goal in different ways, which ultimately is where AI should be right now for students right now. It should be helping them reach their goal still, but provide some support along the way that they might not be able to put together in a tight deadline like we had for this or like they have for a school project, but showing that it can help you reach that finish line quicker, but still acquire those skills throughout the process.
Exactly.
And we're thinking about, like, what goes into this, why is it a rigorous process? That was just week 1 through 5. We also had week 6 through 8 as well, where you have to kind of refine everything that it spits back out at you and create that final product, and that's where they really got the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. So going through that filming process, getting feedback on their raw footage. I know some of our teams went on to do reshoots from there as well as part of that, which, similar to last spring, doing reshoots in week 6 through 8 makes my heart drop. At the end of the day, it can be very intimidating to hear that, like, oh, we're doing reshoots right now, and I'm like, ooh, you're gonna be putting together a tight deadline, because there are groups that are gonna be struggling to reach that deadline even without needing to do reshoots and just doing the video editing process, especially for some of those new groups who are learning about all these new video editing tools. And we actually shared footage on 3 different video editing tools this time around, so that students had a variety of options of what they could choose from in terms of when they put together that final product. So going through that process of teaching the video editing tools, providing feedback on those rough draft footage, selecting finalists, and leading up to overall who's going to be attending this live event is very difficult, because we grade on the rough drafts. We don't grade the final product. We give them another week afterwards to make their final commercial afterwards. So we get their footage that they put together and the edits that they've done so far within like a week and a half, and we're like, okay, we got to use this now to evaluate not only whose commercial looks best in that moment, but whose commercial actually shows the most potential with a couple more edits toward the end. Because there's some groups that are like, oh, this looks like a great finalized product already. There are some that are like, I see the vision here, and I see that you're very close, and I'm like, with one more week, I think you can get there. So it's weighing that in terms of, is it the more solidified final product, or is that product that shows high creativity, high potential? And we have a bit of both in this group. Some that did a lot of additional edits on the back end, and some that had a clean footage, and they were good to go when they submitted that rough draft, basically.
Yeah, so I'll say, I mean, with your timing of, letting them know deadlines, and then, being that it's, week 6 to 8, that's where when the ideas get kind of flushed out again, they could find out between, each member of the group who's doing the production and share their idea, like why they want this in there. but also hearing the feedback, like taking
Yeah.
that feedback where your idea might get shot down, you know, and it may not go that way because only just might be a timing thing or it didn't just mesh well. So they got to learn how to take that criticism too,
Yes.
because that's a part of being a team, right? Sometimes your idea doesn't work. Maybe one of your teammates didn't. You're like, your idea,
That's
Chris,
right. Yeah.
works better than mine. No problem, all right? Maybe next project we do something, and then it's the other way around. Just so learning how to manage that part, because sometimes your idea doesn't work, you know, just because of the timing thing. And then when you learn how to deal with that criticism, you know, it's constructive criticism, because then now you can look back at it and be like, all right, I learned from this, and not take it personal or things of that nature.
And that ties into sports as well. That's,
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
it's exactly the same thing. You have a very strong player and a coach that knows that they can get even better. How do they improve it too? So it kind of goes hand in hand there, Amon.
Yeah, 100%. So when the coach sees it, or the leader of the group sees it, or in terms of the production side of it,
That's right.
that means they're understanding their team, right? They're getting to know each player, how each player thinks, how each player functions, who can react better to the criticism and then get better from it. Because that was a big thing for me when I was playing. If I made a mistake, I knew my coaches figured out when Amon makes a mistake, his next play is going to be his best play, because he learned from the mistake. If it was a fumble or a missed assignment or anything like that, he's going to come back and play harder and get better, you know, with that. So that's the same thing that happened within the kids in their groups, between the commercial shooting and or the gameplay with Madden or whatever game they were playing, Fortnite, because I know that was thrown in there as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too, because that honestly plays into the overall score. Can you kind of walk us through how these schools will be scored, Justin?
Yeah, so there are 4 different winners, I should say, throughout this process. So we have our esports titles, which are Madden and Fortnite. So there is a winning school for each of those.
Yep.
And then we have our STEM project, and then the overall winner, who is over esports for both games and the overall commercials. So there's 2 winners that we'll talk about in a bit that have already been announced, but we still have to crown the STEM and the overall today as part of that. And with that, for the STEM portion, we're talking about the storyboards and the grading and the rubrics that went with that. We're talking about the raw footage that went along with that they submitted, the rough drafts they submitted, and then that final commercial execution, bringing it all together, which is really what I have y'all here to help with today, is to be able to go over that final commercial execution. I've seen them. I know how I feel about them, but it can't just be one opinion at the end of the day. So I'm glad to have 2 professionals here like yourselves that have been through this before as well, to provide some pretty serious feedback. But all of that comes together to choose our overall Players League champions. So we're going to have a STEM finals winner today and that overall Players League champ.
That's exactly right. And when we talk about the competition side, let's speak about it. You mentioned Madden, you mentioned Fortnite. How do they tie in? Obviously, Madden we saw last season, so we know a little bit about that. But for anybody who might be tuning in for the first time.
Yeah, being able to be part of esports leagues and competition is one of the most impactful parts, because not only now do you have team members working together on a project, but you have a really competitive aspect where you're going more directly head-to-head against other schools and other programs. And that came in 2 different forms. One is Madden, which is a return for Players League in the spring, being able to have head-to-head competition between individual Madden students over a 6-week regular season Swiss bracket, leading to a top 8 single elimination bracket on the back end. Along with that, though, we have a new integration this year, which is Fortnite, but it's not head-to-head.
You're telling me about this, yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was super
like
cool.
this.
Yeah.
This has been a game changer. It is something that every educator I've talked to, every student I've talked to, that it has been borderline revolutionary to how teachers are able to be involved with esports. And it is asynchronous competition, meaning that there is no head-to-head. They are being instead given objectives each week. So for anyone who's played Fortnite before or anyone who hasn't, when you go into Fortnite, they have weekly objectives listed out, like going to this POI or doing this much damage or
challenges.
Yeah, exactly. So there's challenges already throughout there. But what we did, we created our own challenges, and we said, submit the screenshots, submit the video to be able to prove that you completed this challenge. And schools are earning points each week along with that.
Gotcha.
So each week, students were given 5 base challenges at an absolute minimum. They were then also allowed to each student could get 1 victory royale to take away points from other schools.
Oh, so
And
there's
then,
a counterplay.
yeah, there's a bit of a counterplay there.
Yep.
And then there's also special challenges each week that go along with that. One week, you could get unlimited victory royales to take away from schools, which really impacted Bayport High School. I think they lost all of their points almost in 1 week and had to fight their way back as part of that because of it.
Man.
Later on in the season, we had unlimited objective completion, so they got a ton of points all at once. We then had situations where we had students be able to get points per a limb or actually based off of their damage score that they actually had.
Yeah.
So every week not only had objectives, but there were these new unique challenges along the way that really mixed things up and surprised people and threw them off in different directions that really made teams have to work together and think about, how do I execute on this? Where's the best landmarks to go to complete these objectives? How do I complete this more efficiently? And there are some students, I'm going to give, because I always feel like I have to give this shout out. There was one student on C-Tech Green, Madeline, who I think some of the highest scores of all the teams was around over 50,000 plus. She had a week that she put up 25,000 points.
Wow.
She put up half her team's score
level, baby.
in one week. Like, I was getting
like
submissions all the time, and I was just like, I don't know, how is this student going to school? But she's apparently a great student. I heard it from the teacher, but like, very impressive all around for sure.
I had to have built engagement, like with your college program too, like that school pride and really everybody as a program coming together. What's better than that?
Man, it's nothing. You know, when you have everybody coming together, that means everybody knows their role, what their job title is, and then how to basically go execute it now. And they're not, they're not uncomfortable anymore. All their uncomfortableness is gone, because now they know what their focus is, they know how to compete, they know how to then communicate between one another, and then know how to, you know, just take it all in and become that better player. Like you mentioned, Madeline at the school getting 25,000 points on her own, half of the team's total. And that right there just comes from, you know, finding out, okay, where is my niche in this competition and where it's going to make me get better. And that's basically kind of what she probably, you know, potentially found in that. But then the part I like is that it just raises everybody's little acumen up, because they learning as they're playing and don't realize it. You know, as they're competing, they're getting better and better, even when they're losing. They don't realize what they're learning. So that's the part I like about it.
That's really cool. Well, luckily, we have highlights so we can relive all of this. So we've got the esports action lined up and ready to go. Let's check out the video and see what these students were able to accomplish here in the competitions.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah.
Loaded.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Yeah.
So congratulations to Lil JD Hayes for that championship over your teammate as well, if you will, from Green Bay Southwest. So that was really awesome to see. And Justin, of course, you said it was a battle back and forth between these two because it went to Game 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see that Broncos team with Jacob, who's a returning student to the Madden side of Players League, put up that strong win early, 32-20, and you immediately see the Eagles come up to a 17-0 lead in that Game 2. A complete shift in momentum and energy. In that Game 3, you see it even back out. You see it close the whole way through. You can see Hayes has to run down that clock to be able to get the job done at the end of the day. Looked like you probably would have scored a touchdown anyway at the end of that drive, but overall was in really good shape on the back end. But yeah, again, congrats to Hayes and congrats to Green Bay Southwest for winning the Madden portion of Players League, holding 3 of the top 4 spots as part of that finals. The only other representative in that Final Four was T. Wingate Andrews with Hex, who was another returner as well, who did well last year, but unfortunately not able to get the job done. Green Bay Southwest overwhelms. But Amon, we were talking while we were watching that video, that Madden play, there's some impressive stuff happening there.
Yeah, very impressive from the defense adjustments, but then offensive adjustments too, knowing that you got Saquon Barkley and then running the outside zone. That's kind of his play because he's a speed guy. He gains that momentum. But then the adjustment of the other running back coming in later to do that, that's high Madden acumen. Like, because I remember, I go back to my college days real fast. I had a college teammate that would, on Bill Walsh college football, he would put linebackers at fullbacks or fullbacks at tight end because they were faster, and or blocking ability would get a little quicker. So I'm like, these kids are doing it now. So for having, was it T-Day?
It was DJ.
DJ doing that in this game today, just seeing the acumen to switch that around, then also the endurance to do it for 4 quarters too at the end. And I do like the kneel down because that's just the best formation in football, but also an older respect too, where you don't have to score. He was on the goal line. But if you play on online play, there'll be jerks and score it there. But understanding where we're at, that means they actually learn something. And there's an older respect to just nail it down at the end of the game.
That endurance is something I personally didn't have. I was just talking about how, like, 3rd quarter, dude, I was out, man. But I heard you calling out packages. You're saying sharp, Amon.
Yeah, so, I mean, I play it. I still play it today. And so maybe one Players League we could get in. I could try to play against these kids and see what happens. But yeah, between cover 1 zone and 2-man, I was seeing a lot of that because that's where you see the players, the defensive backs or the linebackers staying with the player. So that's man coverage. But then you see them floating. That's sitting in zone cover 3, but they're usually 10 to 15 yards off the ball because a lot of Madden players, they like to run those deep corner routes or corner out or in routes because then nobody's in that area. And it's a lot of high Madden going there acumen because of that. Sets you up for other stuff going across the middle stuff and then little short routes that just hitches that stop where the player's not even moving.
Yeah, I mean, that between like that, it's just so much depth. And then you talk about Fortnite was added to the equation too. These challenges were super cool. The way that they were building in that video, man, that's where I could not keep up whatsoever, man. Like they built
Zero
so
builds
fast.
for me.
Yeah, same.
Old man brain. All right, that's what I got right
Yeah, I could imagine playing a Builds game nowadays. I load into a Builds game by accident sometimes, and I'm immediately like, I'm just disconnecting. I'm just like, nope, give me a penalty or something Fortnite for disconnecting from an accidental ranked game. I'm not doing any building today. I don't got the mindset for that anymore.
Yeah, I'm opposite. I'm a glutton for punishment. So I was like, I'm gonna jump in builds, and I tell my teammates, hey, you build, I'll just shoot.
Yeah,
you know, I'll do that part of it. But let y'all handle building the 90 or whatever you're gonna do. Help me with that to stay alive a little longer. That's about it.
Let's bring it all together, guys, because it's the same thing with the projects that we see. You know, I look at these projects that they're building. It's like, I couldn't even build that, man. I'm a content creator. Obviously, I have my focuses, but, like, you know, how they're able to utilize AI, how are they able to put these commercials together. That's super cool. Plus, you get the strategy. We already talked about that from the football side of things, from sports in particular, connecting that with esports. And then the STEM skill development, too, which is also important, Justin. All those things come into handy. Showing up on time, playing as a team, communication. Those skills all are used in the project as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it all kind of culminates to a real world opportunity. If you're doing real world experiences, you should see what it looks like in the real world. And we're talking about where we are right now. We're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the weekend of the NFL draft. We had a chance to fly everyone into here to come check it out in person. Drove them all down there last night. Amazing view of Pittsburgh, by the way. Everyone had compliments for it out there. Everyone absolutely loved the city. The weather was perfect. There was a chance of rain yesterday,
now.
and we got lucky and it got moved to today.
Yep.
But absolutely beautiful evening, beautiful venue, beautiful setup that they had going on. Students had a great time. Some of them got the draft day hats with the pins
Oh,
and the
you got
stamps on
to.
the side. I was like, yeah, you guys are decked out and ready to go. Some of them I think are going to be wearing them today, actually. So you all will get some looks at them.
Yep.
So it was super cool to get students to go see the experiences of, honestly, they're watching our live production now, but see like a big scale live production. Because like, I know even even me and Bear were going back and forth and talking about the fact that like, oh, it kind of looks weird, the transition on the screen when you see the team, the Packers are on the draft board getting ready to draft, but the Vikings have made their picks, so the Packers are in purple and yellow, and I'm like, this doesn't look right at all. Like, what are we doing here? So it's been very cool to get to see some of those conversations happen live, have the students have some of those experiences. I'm sure we can get a bit of insight from the students on their experiences as well, because we let them loose at their parents and guardians a bit to be able to go experience that as a family together. But being able to have a live experience that kind of ties everything together, to get to do this finals live, to get to go experience the draft, it shows where content creation can really go as a career skill. There's so much that goes into putting together a draft, and these kinds of skills are absolutely essential for that.
Yeah, exactly. And like the drones we saw there too, drone operation part of the Players League, program too, getting those camera shots of the crowd and really seeing things come to life in that way. Be like, oh, I could be the one operating this. Like just like you hold a controller, is the same concept, right? And you're able to do it to perfection. Like every little detail matters as far as what shot that you get. It's things like that that really does tie it together, guys. And that's why I'm super excited about this program too. Plus, I got to walk the river, which I've always wanted to do. I got to see PNC Park, which I really wanted to see as a baseball fan too. So like all of that was super exciting to me, and to see everybody their eyes open as they walked in the gate was something super special to me as well. And of course, throughout this journey, students also had the opportunity to learn from industry professionals in addition to that too. So Justin, talk about that process too, because I know it's something that's really important when you get to hear from the best who are already getting it done.
Yeah, so it's been really important for us to be able to highlight student experiences with real-world opportunities. And a real-world opportunity is getting to network and connect. So in order to do that, we connect schools with colleges and universities. So we had Midlands University, for example, was one group out of Nebraska that we had an opportunity to talk to and communicate with on that end. We had some University of Mizzou students who we had connections with on that end. We had some esports industry professionals from one of our partners, Youth Gaming Association, who came in and talked to students as part of that as well. So being able to bring in folks who have done the walk, done the talk, done all of this great work already, or are open to taking students in to help make their work even better, helps students kind of build out that pathway a bit further. Because a student may be like, I want to do content creation, but what's the next step to do that? What do I need to do next? And maybe it is, hey, maybe you should check out Midlands University. Oh, you want to do esports in college? Let's check out one of these other schools as well. Let's check out, I think we had Central Connecticut State as well, for example. So being able to connect students with these colleges and universities and these industry professionals and connections, that is what the real world is about. It is about networking and connection, because yes, going to get continued education and get your certification or whatever that next step is obviously important. But the networking, that is what's going to help you year over year in the future after that. Anyone that I talk to will say, after your first job, your second job, they're probably not asking where you graduated from at the end of the day. They're asking about the real world skills that you've now learned, maybe the skills you did learn at your college or university, but they're focused on the skills at that point. So no matter what college or university you're going to, or no matter what certificate you have, or whatever skill set you're building, just being able to have real-world experiences and networks is what's ultimately going to make any kind of student or anybody entering the industry successful.
Listen, you got to take care of business whenever it's the rookie contract, right? To get you that next contract.
Oh yeah. I mean, coming from this situation here at the draft for all these players here, you kind of associate it to where like you see it on the stage, everybody sees it on TV, but then behind the scenes, between the hard work that's been put in at the combine that was prior to this, but then all the years of playing the game of football or whatever sports you played to get you to this point is now all coming in a culmination of now what this looks like when you actually get on the team, when you come in Philadelphia, Green Bay, Minneapolis to be that Viking first camp. All those skills you just learned physically, and then also the teamwork skills, the mental, the respect, the consistency, all the stuff that you learned to get there. Now, with your new teammates, can that transition into that? Can you go learn that new playbook real fast, get to know your teammates fast because y'all mesh together. Because the quicker y'all mesh together as teammates, just like here with the program, learning the initiatives done here with the commercial, the initiatives done with the Madden League, with the Fortnite competition, if you can pivot and adjust very fast to that, then those are the players that are going to be on field day one. The guys that maybe we booed at because they drafted, but then they make the starting roster number one, either quarterback, running back, or linebacker.
Yeah.
Same here. You get that job out there. They look, like you mentioned, that's a good point of after your first job, it's not looking at where you graduated from or anything like that. They're looking at what actual skills you have to bring you in and hire you. So that's where these kids today can learn that, experience what they see here, but also looking to just think about in the background. There's some things behind the scenes that are going on that could help us move forward, and that if you catch it, put it in your toolbox. And save it for later and learn from it and then execute when you get an opportunity to use it.
Such an interesting thought here that I had as well. It's kind of like the playbook that you mentioned, right, too,
Yes.
where I could bring that into the real-world experience, too. It's like, oh, you thought they were going to have Premiere Pro. Well, guess what? They used DaVinci instead as, like, their main tool at a certain job. So you kind of have to adjust accordingly. Sure, they're all pretty similar, but then Players League, you get to learn a multitude of different platforms and softwares for that exact reason, kind of tying it back to what you were saying earlier, too. All right, let's go ahead and get into to some videos. But first, before we get into those finalists, let's take a look at some of the work that didn't quite make the finals. But we want to show them some love, no doubt, because all these commercials were extremely strong. So I want to be able to get to catch some of them. And we'll start here, of course, with West Springfield. It's actually one of the younger teams that we got to see here in that Boys and Girls Club as well. So they're participating in Players League, like you said, for the very first time. So
Yeah, absolutely. Their first time going through Boys and Girls Club. First Boys and Girls Club to have.
Nice. Let's check it out. Let's see what video they put together from ideation to this is the final product here. Check it out.
Thank you for joining us on Players League West Springfield.
All right.
Young crew who's
Yep.
already, learning the director's cut. How it zoomed in towards the tail end of that. It's something that I had noticed right off the bat. What's your guys' thoughts? I'll start with you, Justin.
Yeah, I think it really is a bit about early stage storytelling,
Correct.
being able to, at a young age, be able to show a product in some way, shape, or form, choosing to go with no like real dialogue to go through Players League and still just be able to show what they were just doing as part of the league. Like even some of the stuff that wasn't really a league assignment, such as like they're showing they're going out and just playing football. That's all very cool, very impactful to see kind of the experiences that they're having just through the league. It doesn't necessarily have to be about just putting out, this is Players League, this is what it's about, this is what we're doing. It's about just showing like what their outcomes were. We got to see the outcomes of the first Boys and Girls Club to be able to be part of this program. And I think that's really cool. And it builds confidence for students to learn these skills at a very young age so that when we're talking about these students, aging up as time goes on, maybe their high school does Players League, maybe they stay at the Boys and Girls Club to be part of more Players Leagues. We're talking about them being able to keep up with the best in the finals and possibly even surpassing the finalists we have today because they're coming in with 2 or 3 years more experience than these finalists had starting out.
Yeah, I like the part where, like you said, just showing them playing football is actually telling, a little story of what they're doing about it. It's playing Madden later on, but then showing that we're being out there active and just telling a short little story of that. And then, like you said, next year, when they get out here and do it again, if it's at the boys club or if it's at their high school, then they can say, okay, we did this last year. We need to add something to this. So this is one building block coming in this year, and then the next year they can add something else to that. Maybe add a little bit more commentary, from somebody, or have each student kind of tell their intro or their gamer story or their journey on how to get to this, why they're in the Players League and what their job is in the production of that. Then maybe that's step number 2 for next year. So that's where you kind of see the the origin story of a team like this to now see what happens next year. So I'm gonna try to remember this. Remember, I'm seasoned, so I'll try to remember this conversation to then say, remember this, Boys and Girls Club, what they looked like last year, and then see what their production looks like for next year.
I'd love to see that commentary. Get attitude, of course.
Yes.
Naturally.
Yes.
All right, awesome. Another young team that we had as well joining it from their journalism class, actually, which is super cool story there, because that ties in a school program directly into it. Just a good variety we have here. It's Southridge Middle School. Let's check out what they put together, guys.
Did you guys hear about Players League?
Yeah, isn't it like a Madden competition?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have like a bunch of other different games you can play too.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, well, what kind of games are there? I'm pretty sure there's also Fortnite too. No one. It's time to go play with my friends.
Come on, guys, we got it. We got this. Come on.
Join Players League today and find your people.
So like Greek mythology is like really interesting. It's all pretty cool, you can learn more at my website. And post.
Go. The video sucks.
That feels awful, Adam. It's horrible. Hey, Adam.
Yeah?
The video wasn't bad.
Thanks,
Could use
man.
some work though. You should join Players League.
What's that?
Original media production license. It'll really help you.
Oh, thanks, man. I'll go check it out. Huh, Players League. I'm gonna do that. Go.
Hey, Adam, that new video of yours, it was really good.
Oh, thanks, man.
What'd you use?
Players League, bro.
That sounds really cool.
It's this new thing. They do like all kinds of stuff.
I think I'm gonna go try that.
All right, see you then.
On go.
And scene. Cut. That's perfect. Now we just need to film our next scene.
Wait, how many videos did you take on
Like
your
3.
phone? Lena, you never ended the video, dummy.
Well, it's fine.
It's so good.
I'm so excited for Players League. This is the best group.
I hope our video gets picked for TV.
Come on, guys, let's get the
victory royale. We can knock the other teams out of the competition.
This
is what football knows.
You want it to be playing like?
Guys, I'm so excited for Players League.
Oh my gosh,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh,
I'm so
guys.
glad we got this group.
What's our next scene?
Oh yeah, for that scene, the girl's gonna be walking into like the classroom.
Okay, this storyline is so good. We're finally done.
Okay, guys, our video is the Players League competition. Who's gonna go to the NFL draft?
I think Helena should.
I think Sherry. She was the main character.
It's a hard decision because like,
I
yeah.
don't know, but also you did so good, Karen.
Yeah, but I think Helena did really good with the cameraman work, and she didn't get to be in any of the videos.
That's true. So
Helena? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's go tell her. We'll teach her. You guys are so sweet. Thank you.
Okay, we picked Helena to go to the NFL draft.
Okay,
Wait, I just got to give her that your group got picked for Players
This is what football knows.
You want it to be playing like?
These are the 2 teams that play this.
Middle schoolers putting that together. That was 3
Oh.
videos from those teams as well.
Yes.
All with different concepts. It was super cool, Amon.
Very cool. I like the creativity,
Yeah.
and I just like the youthful unabandon of trying to be professional, where they're just going and letting it fly, and that right there is where you learn and just how to be yourself, be authentic, because in content creation, kind of like when you go individually and becoming a streamer, right?
That's right.
It's all about authenticity. And you saw that with them. You saw the original and just kind of we don't quite understand it, but we're going to make something. We're going to make something out of this and have fun. And they have fun, for one. And so I say, if you do anything at the end of the day, whatever job it is, part-time, full-time, you got to be having fun. And these young ladies and young men were definitely doing that. A little slow on some of the transitioning stuff, but that's going to come with time. And they did it. They had a couple static edits in there too, but then I want to know like between the actual the dialogue, that writing up, like they were able to get that in there, talking about the Players League, put a lot of that in a commercial, right? You want to have the brand or the logo or the label, whoever said, they said a lot of Players League. I heard that like numerous times, so that they kind of hit that point of understanding. This is a Super Bowl commercial, and we got to sell a product. We got to sell a brand.
Yeah.
So they had Players League several times being mentioned over and over again. So for that part being, where they're the generation coming up, kind of like beta, I think, or something like that in the age group, they're not far from it. And so I'll say, hey, good job for them, and I love the originality on it.
Exactly. It's all about friendships we saw at the very beginning, and then you had they're breaking down the fourth wall in the final video too. I mean, they barely missed the finals at the end of the day.
Yeah, so I will tell you, so there were about 6 schools, I would say, that were within 2 percentage points out of 100 of getting the final spot.
No surprise.
For the Players League finals. Like, it was a very tight competition, and all 3 of the middle school videos were in that final 6 that we were deciding between.
I can't wait till next year.
One of which was 0.2% off of making it in.
Wow.
As part of that. Like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, they put together amazing work and beat the majority of high schools in the league as part of that. And it shows that being part of a classroom experience, Players League can work really well, especially for these students who have a passion for the industry because they're taking the class already in journalism. So they're already coming in here to learn this. So it just is natural for them all to be part of Players League as part of that. And it has led to some amazing commercials from that group and I want to give a shout out to Kyle Baston, who is their teacher over there.
Okay.
A very special educator at Southridge Middle School, I will say.
Nice.
He went through the process of not only doing our weekly meetings during his class time, so about 45 minutes per week, he took additional days when we weren't meeting with him to allow his class to film, to allow additional video editing.
There you go.
He was passionate about this project. Not only this project, he is also the same teacher who did our Indiana Cybersecurity and Esports League as well for our cybersecurity students. So he did 2 of our leagues this spring for his in-class experiences. And it shows what this can look like in the classroom experience as well. An amazing differentiator for the students.
Talk about dedication. Talk about, like, no days off, baby. Let's get to work, right?
Yeah, man, and that's the love of the coach, the love of the teachers. I've had teachers, like I'm pretty sure y'all had your teachers coming up, your coaches coming up that actually gave it in double time. And then sometimes you had the parent, like my dad was a football coach, so he didn't coach me directly, he coached the offensive line, but still coaching me in some ways and showing, my position being a running back growing up, playing Little League football. I learned, obviously, know how to block first before I knew how to run the ball better. So that gave me an extra skill that once I transitioned from Little League to high school and then pro, they always wonder, like, why am I block better? I'm like, oh, my dad was an offensive line coach. They were like, oh, okay. I say, yeah. So I know how to get in and understand little details. So that's something where you have a passionate teacher like that gives that support.
Yeah.
And then support brings in confidence. And you saw, and that's why they were percentage points of beating most of the high schools, because you have that constant support there. And as a young kid, that's all you pretty much want.
Then you can block, during passing plays, obviously, but like on rushes, did you get like a unique insight to like what your offensive line was going to be? Does that give you an advantage, you'd say?
No, it did. So when I say, then fast forward to when I got to Green Bay, one year we started having meetings where it was the running backs and the linemen together. So all that information I grew up with my dad telling me when he was an offensive tackle in high school and college, it transitioned into that meeting. So I knew exactly when they would say, Amon, I'm going to do a double team block up to the next level. I knew what that meant. Then I'm going to say, hey, okay, if you do that double team block, then I'm going to just go this way. I'm going to go left or right of that. Read your body, and then I'll make the move off of that. And then we're like, oh, okay. And so that, matter of fact, was the 2003 season where we had our most production as an offense, me having 1,800 yards going to the playoffs that year. But then the year also, Brett only got sacked 19 times in 17 games. There you go. So that was just a communication factor that was added in through having those extra meetings.
Yeah, which is also very interesting, the fact that I did something a bit different this year, not really thinking too much about it, but the impact of it, I think, was actually kind of immense, was that when we announced the finalists, I chose to share all of the rough drafts that all of the schools made so that other schools could look at other schools' work. Because not only are the skills you're learning able to help you be able to learn, but when you look at other people and you're learning what other people are able to do, it helps you understand what you're capable of doing and how you can learn. It's that exact same thing. If you understand what your offensive line is doing, you're going to be more successful. If you understand what other people and other finalists are doing, you're going to figure out what helps make you successful and be able to even advance your work even further. It's the same kind of concept of networking and talking with others and connecting, is that being able to look at these other videos and other rough drafts ahead of time really could help shape some of these students' final commercials. I know, talking to some of the finalists, that it did impact their final commercials.
100%.
I can't tell you how many times. I mean, I talked to producer, for example. I have all these crazy ideas. He's got to narrow down that scope for me. But if I get in the mind of my producer and we work at, like, chemistry based, if I understand that role, guess how much more smoothly that goes. It applies all across the board, man. We're talking you know, video editing or just, you know, creating a product and content creation as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's basically learning best practices. You know, what worked and what didn't work. And once you find that in any industry, you know, through this process of them doing a commercial to playing Fortnite to playing Madden, they learn these best practices and know how to get to basically a better project at the, or a better successful winning production at the end, or gameplay at the end of every season. So then they learn from everybody else. And like you said, from watching and showing that video, like, I would have loved it. I'm like, oh, now, I could do that next year. We could do that, and then make that adjustment to what we already learned, and, you know, from the good and the bad of what the production was, basically.
Yeah, and guess what? I heard some commentary in that one as well. So maybe the first team listens to that team. Let's throw that in our video next time. Let's get stronger. That's exactly right.
Exactly.
Let's move on to the next one. We've got, looks like we have, is it Southridge next, or do we have Bayport? We got Bayport. Bayport was part of the Players League program last time around, so maybe they have some experience here, Justin. What's your thoughts before we see this?
Yeah, so Bayport came in with a lot of experience. If you all might remember, their commercial for last year was around like an evil internet guy, basically. He had like the evil, like Dr. Doom style mask, and there were these moguls stealing all the money away from everyone. They are one of the most creative groups, I think, in Players League, by far, by none. I will say about this commercial before we watch it, I wanted to personally show this one because I think it is, I know there's a lot of finalists in the room. This commercial is the most creative one, I'm not going to lie. The problem with it is that they have so many amazing ideas. It's not the length of a commercial at all. It's about 5 minutes long. So it's a bit more of an SNL skit than an actual commercial, which unfortunately led to them not being able to qualify because, hey, you got to follow those guidelines, you got to follow those rules. We talk about time management. It is just as important to follow those guidelines. And it's one of those situations that I particularly talked about early on when you're determining those finalists, thinking about, hey, there is what the product is today, and there is what is the potential for the product. And as amazing as their product is, I couldn't figure out a way they could get it down to 90 seconds. It was just so much content to go through. I was like, I can't imagine trying to edit down this 5-minute video to 90 seconds within a week and having the same quality and storytelling that it has. But this one, if this was a skit, I don't think anyone would have beat anybody in this competition. Like, nobody would have touched Bayport if this was a skit competition. But I am very excited to show you all Bayports.
I love this. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's all about the guidelines that you're giving, because maybe it works as like a YouTube ad these days. They're so long. Don't get me started on that for it. But when you have guidelines, got to be able to stick to that scope. So let's check out what they're able to put together here for Bayport.
Come in.
Hey, bud, get ready. It's time for school.
Go. Go.
So tired, man. Huh?
Are you signing for any clubs today, bro?
I don't know, man. The club board has the most boring clubs of all time.
I know.
Alright, man. See ya.
Yep, see ya.
Clubs, you say?
I may actually want to check those out.
Go. Go.
I'm in.
One. Go.
Welcome to the paint drying club. We got blue, red, green, and my personal favorite, white.
Why is white your favorite color to be exact?
Because you never know when it's dry. I've made that mistake way too many times.
Okay. Okay. Is this chair open? Yep. Let me put myself down. First time. My record is 2 hours straight. What is this club called again? Oh, sitting on a chair club. No, I'm getting out of here.
Wait, you don't like that chair? We can switch if you want.
No, I'm good. Huh, what is this club?
Welcome! Finally, someone's here.
What is this club called again?
It's the 1% club. But if you can join, it's a 2% club. Would you like to join?
No.
Wait, you can be a 12% club, please.
One, go. One more. Alright, now you can walk over. Huh. Login stuff. Alright. I'll just take this then. And go. Walk up to Anakin, and you're gonna say 2, 1, go.
This here, this is. Oh no, yeah, this is really good.
Is this esports?
Yes, yes it is.
Do you mind if I ask a couple of questions about the club?
Yeah, just go in the hall and I'll be there in a sec.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry to keep you waiting. So, what do you want to learn about?
Action. Well, I want to know what this is.
Video production. Basically.
Anyway, start 3, 2, 1 now.
Oh well, it's a premier esports recruitment platform that connects high school gamers all across the country to compete in esports scholarship opportunities.
Go.
So it's basically just video production and gaming all in one.
Basically, yeah.
Is there anything else?
Recording.
Well, how about I just show you yourself?
Whoa. Okay, I'm recording. How do I sign up? 2, 1, go.
Look! Oh my god! There's a person here! Shit! Welcome to this club!
What is this club called again?
It's a 1% club, but if you join, it can be a 2% club!
No, I'm getting out of here.
Wait! Please wait!
I mean, if this is an SNL skit, I mean, it's pretty creative, dude. Like, the sitting on a chair club, paint drying club, that'd be rolling, man.
I love that one.
Oh.
All the little clubs, different names, different initiatives. I like that. Little, like you said, a little long, but interesting. All interesting in the same.
The paint drying one, the white paint, thing. I've never heard that line before.
Genius.
That is
Genius.
I need to know who came up with that line, where he heard it from. He came up with it himself. He's a genius.
Yes.
Same with like the 1% club guy. Honestly, that I will give that guy the actor of Players League is that guy right there. That guy committed. I think he lost some flip flops. I think like flew into the stratosphere after they fell off on that run right there. Like
ACL or MCL sprain.
Yeah.
potential.
Yeah, he will be. He is on the Players League IR list for the remainder of the season. But
Come on, you got a doctor for that, right?
Yeah, I know how to rehab that. I know how to help out with that.
No doubt about it. But that just speaks to like the creativity of these students. But it's all about that time management. It all comes back to that. I talked about it a little bit earlier, right, Justin?
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about the fact that, hey, you have a certain amount of time to attain this, and it seems like they had maybe some extra time to work with.
Yep.
But with that being said, even with the amount of time that they seem to have to put into this, being able to really solidify and narrow down your ideas is super important. You know, and I talk about this with them in the process. I say a common rule of thumb, it may not be a practice everywhere, but the rule of thumb that I've always learned is that for every minute of footage you have, you're probably only going to use about 10% of it, maybe like 10 seconds of that footage. So if you have 5 minutes of footage, that should be like 50 seconds, like that you're able to narrow that down there. So having to deal with this longer product and the not having really the idea on how to overcome that, in my opinion, that I couldn't even come up with, it's hard to really validate that they were able to put something together that's shorter than that, because I love what they did. And honestly, I would have felt bad telling them to make it 90 seconds. I think it would have harmed their product to some extent at the end of the day. But it does talk about the fact that, like, in the real world, not only are we talking about time management and deadlines, but we're talking about guidelines. We're talking about there are rules that you need. Like, as me giving this prompt to the students of Players League, I'm the client. I told you what to do. I told you I needed 30 to, at the absolute most, 90. Like, if you can't follow what the client's going to do, the client's going to throw it right back at you and say, this is not at all what I want. I'm going to go with someone else. Like, it is that plain and simple on how that conversation goes. So it's very important that the students followed the guidelines. And it showed with this one. They did almost everything right. And that guideline was just one part missed that put them underwater this time.
Exactly right. And that's a quick lesson to learn, right? And you get it done now. It's better now than, you know, going and actually representing a brand and having that happen to you. So I think that's really smart. And branding too, like as you pointed out during the video itself, it was more geared towards Stay Plugged In versus Players League as the actual branding itself. Like, you're the Green Bay Packers, not the Amon Greens.
Correct. And then that's a big miss, you know, making sure you're not mentioning the name of the commercial. That obviously is the big mistake there. But then also can learn from, there were the points in the long long scenes that's where you could put the edit in. You could kind of watch it knowing, okay, we need to cut here. And then add that to the other edits and stuff like that. So it was definitely that standpoint of seeing that, and hopefully they could see that moving into next year, basically.
Unmatched creativity, though. That's why I love that one for sure. All right, guys, let's go ahead and shift to from the journey to our submissions and get down to business, as we say, as we'll get to see the finals in just a bit. But before we do that, though, I do want to point out that we have some great individuals here from Auburn University, too, that have been helping out as well. I mean, they've been amazing bringing the media, the content together. They were here for Media Day. Justin will kind of talk with them here after this quick break, but don't go anywhere. Again, you're watching the Players League football finals here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Excited to see the Tigers.
Let's go.
Welcome on back, everyone. Before we move to the finals, we want to take a moment to highlight something a bit new to our experience here. We have some incredible students joining us from Auburn who were part of our Players League journey and helped create some amazing content along the way. So I'm joined today by Gunnar, Bowman, and Kaylin here. Real quick, let's go around. Just give what grade level you are, where you're from, and your current major. I'll start here with you, Gunnar.
Cool, yeah, I'm Gunnar Noreen. I'm currently a sophomore at Auburn University studying sports production journalism, and I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. It's good to be here.
I'm Bowman Ivester, and I am a junior at Auburn, and I'm studying business admin, and I'm getting a minor in sports comm.
Hey, I'm Kaylin Campbell. I'm a senior at Auburn, studying marketing and sports communications, and I'm from Oxford, Alabama.
And this opportunity is very unique in that you all aren't like traditional interns. It's not like we brought you on specifically to do this as like a natural internship progression. So let's talk a bit about how you all found out this opportunity and what your initial thoughts were when you heard about it. Bowman, I'll ask you first about that.
So Rick and Amon came, and they were guest speakers in our class. Our professor, also named Rick, brings in about 5 guest speakers per semester. And Rick was one of our guest speakers, and he told us about Stay Plugged In and the Players League and kind of like a little bit about what y'all do. And then he emailed our professor, Rick, and presented him with this opportunity. He's like, hey, I think it'd be interesting if we had some students create content for us. And he's like, do you think you'd have any students interested in that? And that's how we ended up here.
And Kaylin, with that being said, I know we had a really good initial conversation. You're like, I'm all about this. This is like what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about. What was your kind of thought process going into this as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted an opportunity to kind of have some creative freedom when it comes to helping produce content. I help at Auburn with some of the social media stuff, but being able to kind of produce it and help create it on my own, and just have that creative freedom to produce what I think would be cool and kind of help y'all build a TikTok and some more Instagram Reels. Thought that was a great opportunity and was definitely something that I wanted to jump in and kind of help wherever y'all needed me.
Gunnar, I'll point it out. You're the youngin' of the bunch, technically. You're a part of this. So for you, sophomore year in the program, you're still probably getting your feet a bit wet in Auburn. You found some momentum now there for sure. Tell me what it was like hearing about the possibility of helping out with an event that's associated with the NFL draft, and then finding out that you're gonna get to go and be part of it.
Honestly, it was just amazing. Honestly, just being here in Pittsburgh, as this magnitude, it's just awesome just to be here. I'm just more like a sports guy. So I don't really know much about like esports before this, but it's also just been great. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Just being here with all these great students and around y'all, and just explain more about media and just as a whole, it's been great.
Yeah, and as part of this, you all had different projects. Some that are going to be used for social media segments, that some have already been released. Some are being used for the intros that we're going to have for the players here in the next segments in a few minutes here. And we also have some larger videos and works you all are doing as well as part of all of this. So with all of that, Kaylin, tell me a bit about what project you worked on so that as people are looking on socials or watching the stream, that they're aware of what work you put into it.
Yes. So currently right now I'm helping kind of collect some B-roll that we can use in the future and help kind of create some videos of the draft experience itself and being up here in Pittsburgh. The past few weeks I've been helping create TikToks and Reels from videos that Justin has sent me some footage of Fortnite, Madden, some gameplay, and I've kind of been overlaying that with some interviews from teachers and students that have been involved with the Players League so far.
Yeah, and you had the opportunity here to help with a lot of our long-term social media that kind of like went throughout the process. On the opposite end of the spectrum, I threw Gunnar into the fire. I told Gunnar, "Hey, you're gonna have a couple of weeks before you're gonna have to get started, but you're gonna have to do all of our finalist videos and editing." Gunnar, tell me a bit about what that experience was like to be a bit more under the fire.
Yeah, honestly, it was super cool just being there and I learned about other just experiences and everything like that, and just making just long form content, which I'm normally used to like sports and like not that stuff, but it's been really fun just to like hear about their journey and their experience with Players League, Stay Plugged In. It's been really fun to just hear about that.
Yeah, and I'm excited. You all watching at home, you might have seen them on social media already, but you're going to get to see them again here when we do the finalists shortly, is that you're going to get to actually see the videos that you help bring to life as part of that. So you're going to get to see those ones super shortly here. But we have Bowman as of well here who took a concept from a pretty popular streamer and used it for our own benefit as part of Players League. Tell me a bit about what you were working on, Bo.
Yeah, so I stole Fortnite Friday from Connor and decided to use that sort of format to interview the students and sit down and sort of like talk to them and figure out like what the Players League is and how it works and their experiences with it, and just sit down and have a conversation with them and turn that into like short form content of like, you know, why the Players League, what we do, and then also like a long form episodes where, you know, it's just a sit down conversation, like sort of podcast style. So, and it was a lot of fun. I got to talk to Micah, one of the finalists, and it was pretty cool getting to talk to them and about their experiences.
Yeah, absolutely, and getting to do that long gaming content, very popular form of content nowadays. We talk about the short forms, like you see people playing the little app games. There's some other video playing at the top. You got that multi-view. It's that same kind of format. You have the Fortnite entertainment, but you're also learning through that Players League conversations as well, which works very well. But now you all are here at the draft. You all had a chance to go to the draft last night and gather some content, have some fun along the way. Was a super awesome evening getting to stay in the crowd with y'all and get to enjoy watching some of the picks together and watching Amon get swarmed a bit by some Green Bay fans on the back end. Just started that too. I'll tell y'all at home, it was a flock. As soon as one person realized who Amon was, all of a sudden you saw Green Bay fans and Steelers fans coming out of the gates to try to talk to Amon and get a picture with him. It was really cool. But let's
really
talk
cool.
about you guys here now. Yesterday we had a media day with the students. You got some gatherings from the draft. You're taking some more photos and media today. As far as what the purpose of this media day is, let's talk a bit about it. Gunnar, we talked a bit about what your final project's going to be. What's your media day project going to be about?
So I'll do a kind of a long form recap of the event and their just overall just experiences here at in Pittsburgh, and I just interviewing them and hearing their thoughts about being here and just how this journey has impacted them has been really, really cool to hear.
Yeah, which is super impactful because we want to be able to show students like a highlight of what their experiences was and shows everyone else like, hey, this is the real outcome that you get from coming to these Players League events. Bowman, I know you had a tiny bit different perspective there. Tell me a bit about what your final project is.
I'm sort of same thing. I'm creating a recap event, but I'm also looking at it from a perspective of why other students should join the Players League and why they should participate. And so I'm kind of recapping that whole experience, and by using players and parents as interviews that we got yesterday, and having them like describe, you know, oh, it was cool seeing this, and here's my experience with it, and here's why y'all should experience it as well.
Yeah, and that's super impactful. I mean, right now already, Players League from last spring to this spring has more than doubled in terms of size, which is a huge win for us as a program. But outreach to schools and getting in touch with the right teacher, educator, or admin to be able to bring that to life, it can be difficult, and it can be difficult to show exactly what Players League really does without that type of video. So that can be super impactful on that end. Finally, Caitlin, another area that we're really kind of targeting is trying to bring in other groups who want to be involved in the Players League process. Talk a bit about the video that you're working on.
Right. So I'm kind of focusing on showing people why they should sponsor an event like this. I think when I heard about the Players League, I thought it was so cool. You don't hear many opportunities for middle schoolers, especially in high school students, to get an opportunity to learn how to produce and do all this stuff. And kind of, it's not just esports, which I just think it's so cool. You're giving such a great opportunity to middle schoolers and high schoolers, and giving them skills that they can take into college, and if they don't, boost a career for them. So kind of focusing on sponsors, showing them the experience as a whole and how it is beneficial to these students and their futures, and how they could be a helpful part in this experience for the students, why they should be a part of it and why it would be beneficial to them as well.
And Stay Plugged In and Players League have already worked with strong brands in the
Yeah.
past as part of that, but bringing in more brands, getting engaged, and having your brand associated with an event like the NFL Draft
Right.
can be a huge deal. I mean, the content house we had last year, the hotel space we're in this year, taking the students to the draft, like, what an impactful experience for a company to have, to be able to say that I was a part of that experience, possibly have some commercials made about your company along the way. There's some really strong opportunities there. And hopefully we can bring in a few more groups in the future to do some really exciting stuff around being able to do more commercials or to come up with new product ideas or maybe do some work with drones. Maybe we'll talk about that a bit later.
Oh, yeah.
But with all of that, as far as just going throughout this entire process, what was the biggest learning you had or biggest challenge that you had throughout the process? And Bowman, I'll turn it over to you.
I would say my biggest challenge was trying to learn a platform like OBS. I had a lot of struggles with that. Yeah, OBS was a bit of a struggle. I think I figured it out in the end, but it was definitely a huge learning curve.
Yeah, OBS is the bane of some people's existence, especially when you're talking about game production as part of that. It can be tough for a lot of people, but once again, some of our Players League stuff teaches about OBS along the way. Shout out to the Carolina Core Content Creation Camp with the Be Elite Foundation coming in July. So where students learn about OBS and other tools like that. So another great opportunity with Carolina Core FC on that end in High Point, North Carolina, to be able to interact with the soccer team and learn about tools such as OBS and learn streaming technique that goes along with that. But once again, another thing that takes a lot of learning and adjustment to do, and that it, like you kind of experienced, like you probably went through the same trials that a middle schooler would go through if they were trying out OBS for the first time, because it's a tough tool to use. Kaylin, what about you? What were the biggest challenges? What were you learning throughout the process?
Yeah, mine would definitely be more on the editing side. I feel like I haven't had a lot of experience with that in the past. I've focused more on just gathering content and then that being used by somebody else. So getting into Adobe Premiere Pro and just learning how to overlap videos and separate the sound from the video so you can adjust the sound. Just random things like that that I've never really had to experience. Just sitting down and kind of messing with it until I was able to perfect it and get it where I wanted to have it. So it's given me some great experience on more of the editing side.
Gunnar, finally for you, tell me a bit about what you learned. What were the biggest challenges for you?
I'd say that the hardest thing was probably just this industry as a whole. I'm more just as just a sports guy, as I said, and so just being around just this industry as just not just like your normal, a big SEC school environment and just a normal media that I produce. And so just being around this, Stay Plugged In has been really cool, and I don't know, it's been just a learning experience, just exploring new things and just learning about their experiences as well.
Absolutely. It really is a very unique company in terms of what we do. We do a lot of stuff that's very unique around here. So for a lot of people, it is kind of their first insight into what exactly Stay Plugged In does on a much deeper level. Favorite moment, though, something you probably will say the draft if I had to guess, but Kaylin, tell me what's been your favorite moment of this whole experience?
Yeah, I would probably obviously say the draft, but also just getting to learn along the way. And I loved being able to interview the families yesterday and kind of see how this league and how Stay Plugged In as a whole has impacted them. Hearing from parents and siblings how they've seen the students grow and then how those students have seen themselves grow. It was just really cool to hear from them.
Yeah, and it is really cool to hear from parents and families. We'll see that in some of Gunner's content as well
Yeah.
shortly as part of that. Shout out to our parents and guardians for being here really quick.
Yeah.
So thank you all for being part of this league and for doing interviews, because I know some of you were reluctant to do so. Shout out Michelle as part of that. But it's been really cool to see the parents and guardians come in and interact with these students as part of this really unique experience. Honestly, it's important to have a parent and guardian just for safety reasons as part of this event, but it's probably one of the cooler things to see is just that family dynamic at such a cool and unique experience. Hearing family members be like, hey, I'll buy you a hat at the draft. Technically, you're covering for us to be here because you qualified. So that's some really fun banter that I really love throughout this experience. Gunnar, what was the favorite part?
I loved everything, honestly. I think my favorite moment was probably the draft right now, or last night, just because I'm a big, obviously a big sports fan, and I saw a player from Auburn get drafted last night, so that was pretty cool. He went to the Raiders, so that was just a cool moment, and also just being around them and just hearing how they've been impacted by this experience and just their overall thoughts on this journey that they've had. it's been really cool.
Bowman, favorite?
Obviously, there's the draft, but kind of like what Kaylin said, getting to talk with the students and the parents about what they've seen their kids learn throughout this program. I've done film for 4 years in high school, and I've created a lot of videos and commercials. I've done projects like that, and it's cool getting to talk to other students who are learning some of those similar things that I've learned, and getting to see their videos and what they've brought to life. It's a really cool thing.
And I think our hope with all of this, and our first time going through this, is to help enable more of our colleges to be able to be part of some of the experiences that we do here at Stay Plugged In as part of this experience. So if you're a college and university out there that is interested in being part of this Auburn experience that these students had, we're looking for colleges and universities for our future players leagues. We got some coming up more regionally in the fall. I expect us to have our national one again in the fall. We might have some other events along the way that are unannounced yet. But we're really excited to hopefully get more universities and schools engaged with that. I'll kind of leave with this one last question. Why do you all think that more students should do this program? Like, if you go back to the rest of your Auburn class, I'm sure some of them are jealous that you're here right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane. It's crazy. It's a great flex.
I'll ask you then, Gunnar. Obviously, you're going to go back and flex on them. But let's say for Rick's class next time around,
Right.
if you were to try to encourage those students to be part of this experience, what would you tell them?
I just say probably it's just I guess a great chance outside of just a normal classroom environment. Just a project was our other problem or our other option. I don't know, a great experience just being here and just exploring different paths in the industry, in media, and just it's been just a great time meeting people too, and networking with all of y'all at Stay Plugged In, and just meeting them as well as they're here as just a student. So yeah, it's been really fun just overall.
Yeah, it's a nice alternative project. That's
Definitely.
100%.
What about you, Bowman? What would you tell Rick's incoming class?
I would probably say it's a great learning opportunity, and it's a great opportunity to get actual hands-on experience versus making a PowerPoint presentation. You're getting to go out and like actually produce content, and that's content that like you can show other people that, hey, I produced this. And you get to go to the NFL draft. That part's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just that actual like hands-on learning experience. I think that's the greatest part, and that's why I would tell somebody to pursue that opportunity.
Yeah, what are you telling those incoming Auburn kids?
Yeah, I was going to say something very similar to him, also build off of a little bit what I was saying earlier. You just get so much creative freedom throughout this process. And I also feel like I've learned a lot from the other side of production. Just watching y'all set this up the past day, seeing how y'all do all of this, and how much your jobs are impacting the students. I mean, it's just really cool to see it from an outsider perspective coming into Stay Plugged In. I didn't know anything about it. So I've just learned so much about something outside of what I'm learning in class. It's a great experience just being able to learn about something different that not many people get to experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible having you all here as part of this experience, and I thank you all for your work and support throughout this. Being able to show us like what programs like this are really about is like teaching people about content creation, providing new opportunities. This is the same kind of skilled, hands-on experience that we're talking about putting those students through.
Exactly.
It's the same kind of thing. So we're super glad to have you as part of this. It's going to be super awesome to have you all here for the rest of the way as well. So great to have some Tigers here with us all today.
Yeah. War Eagle.
Yeah, thank y'all for having us. I appreciate y'all for having us. It's been a great opportunity, and just thank y'all for bringing it.
Yeah, absolutely no problem. But we're going to take a quick moment just to get reset, move some chairs around, all that kind of good stuff, get our judges back on stage, because it's time to shift to the main event, folks. It is time to bring on those commercials. We'll be right back.
welcome back to the 2026 Players League Football Finals here live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, live at the draft. And we bring in this moment now. The finalists are here with us. We'll be able to kind of go through one at a time, see their submissions, talk to them about their storyboard, their creation, all the way through their final product. Excited to be able to see their growth. We talked about it already, guys. We talked about the creativity that they've gone through, the journey, the rigorous process, and now being able to get to that final process as well. I'm joined by our judges once again. We got Justin Ellis. We got Amon Green here. And joining us for the first time, we got our first finalist as well. It's Micah Edwards down on the end representing Kearns Academy. We'll get to you in just a second, my good sir. Let's talk a little bit about how it works, guys. What we'll be doing here, all these top teams will be joining us here on the process. We'll go with their concept and storyboard first, watch their final commercial, and then finally we'll hear feedback from the judges here to see how they thought their final products had gone. And we will take it from there. This is where everything comes together. Let's get started with our first finalist. Again, this is Micah Edwards from Kearns Academy, standout creator whose journey both reflects creativity, also has some interest in cybersecurity, I hear. Excited to be able to talk to Micah. Before we hear from him directly, though, let's take a look at his journey here at Players League Finals.
So I'm not even lying when I say this. I think I got done taking a test for Miss Smith. I was in her classroom. We just got our phones back, and then I got the email that we were a finalist. And let me just say, I was really I was over the moon. Like, that was one of the things that we were always looking forward to the whole entire year, being able to put so much work into that. And I remember most of the people that are on our team, our StayPluggedIn team, were also taking that class. And I know we were all really excited. And then the next block, Kingston comes into school, and he's, really excited as well. And, we're all just talking about it with Miss Smith, our coach, and we're just really excited to see what we could do, and hopefully our hard work really pays off and we're able to make that back-to-back happen. I would say the number one thing is definitely being able to be in a different place. I've actually never traveled before, so being able to travel but for Stay Plugged In, it's like a 2-in-1. You get what I mean? So I not only get to do something I've never been able to do, but also just being able to share that love for esports, share that love for Stay Plugged In, and combine the two aspects is something I can't even wait to experience. I'm ready for next week to hit right now, so I'm really excited.
I've known just a little bit. I know that he plays the game. He's very passionate about it. He locks himself in his room. I can hear him sometimes getting very animated. But I know that it's something that he's very passionate about. And I know that he's been getting better at it. So I'm really excited for him that he's found something that, grasps his attention and can definitely benefit him in the future.
Micah has definitely, he was there last year. Him and Kingston have a friendly rivalry with each other, I guess it will. Kingston was our champion last year. And so he came in with the focus of we are getting back to finals because this year I get to go. So last year it was like, Kingston went, they were like, if this happens, a senior ago, but he also was very committed to making sure that everyone was completing their Fortnite challenges. Like, he was definitely the champion for sure on the gaming side, but then he was also like, we got to get this commercial done and everyone lock in. And he comes to school only for like 2 classes, and so one of them is mine. But he was always like, all right, everybody, make sure you get this, or jump on, everybody jump on now, finish your challenges and get your points in and all that stuff. So he was definitely the captain of let's do what we need to do. Like, I don't know how many times I heard him say, I need y'all to lock in. I need y'all to lock in. I was like, okay, lock in. It was everyone. Pretty much it wasn't even like a conversation of like who's gonna go. It was from the beginning. They were like, if we make it to the finals, Micah's going. And that was a consensus across the group. There was not even a slight challenge.
Since we did have that creative freedom to, have our commercial highlight anything, we wanted to add some funny components too. I know that, when we were making the punching scene with Kingston, like, that was something that, everybody was like, yeah, we're on board for that. We want to see how that goes. We went through a lot of takes for that one because we had a lot of laughter in that one, and we had, some things that we wanted to, fix a little bit. But just going into that whole entire just commercial process, it was very fun. And I think hopefully, you know, it comes out. We're still gonna make some updates to it, but hopefully, as you know, we're rounding out to this competition season, we're just able to not only feel happy with our commercial, but also know that we added that creative element to it because you know it's supposed to feel like us, you know. So I really hope that once it comes out, we're all very happy with the progress and the process that we made it with.
And I'd say making it to the finals is certainly good progress. We got Micah here with us. It is your turn to join us here at Players League Live, and we love to have you as well. And clearly you and the rest of the team did lock in to your teacher's point as well to make it to this point. Congratulations on being here.
Thank you so much for having me once again. I've been loving the energy here. You know, as the video said, first time ever traveling and coming to the NFL draft of all places, like, it's ecstatic. I'm still, you know, over the moon right now, so I can't believe it.
Kingston, obviously the winner last year, and so you're going to rub it into a little bit once you get home, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I still got pressure on my shoulders, too, but I'm going to make sure he knows, hey, I'm going to be the one to bring it home. So
Nice.
Fantastic. Well, like we said, we're going to kind of walk through your entire process here, and the product itself, the commercial, starts with the storyboarding. So we'll go ahead and bring up the storyboard so we can talk a little bit about it here. What did you put together here as far as your storyboard? What was the first thoughts going through your team's mind as you put it together?
So, yeah, I remember during our first conversation, we wanted to make sure that we had bullet points or just something in order. Right off the bat, we want to make sure we highlight that win from last season. You know, we wanted other teams to come for us. Yeah, like have that sort of storyline to build up in the esports scene because everyone loves to take out the champs. You know, you get that opportunity to go for it, you go for it, right? We wanted to include that. But we also wanted to add, you know, some funny creative elements to it as well. Whether that be something involving me, Kingston, or King Mode, we wanted that to be like a highlight of our commercial. So that's kind of where the punching scene ends up coming in. You'll probably see that a bit later. But once we got all of that basis sort of there, we started mapping our storyboard out, actually, you know, having the boxes, talking about some of the scenes that we wanted to include and how we can incorporate everybody into it, you know. This time around, we had a lot of people join in from that Fortnite side, and, you know, they had a lot of creative pieces that they wanted to add to it. It was like everybody got involved. We were, you know, sitting in class talking about it. We were sitting in lunch talking about it, working on the storyboard, editing some of the bullet points that we had. So that was really what made our finalized storyboard possible. Everybody's combined efforts to add that humorous element, to also highlight that previous win. That's what really, you know, drew our entire storyboard, you know, well, on the what it was like the board over there. So yeah, that's what really made it come true.
I think an interesting part of your group in particular, because you did this last year, you did it again this year, and it's a specific thing I'm about to say, is reshoots.
Mm-hmm.
You guys did a lot of reshoots last year. Y'all, after seeing your final commercial earlier, have done a lot of reshoots this year as well. Walk me through the adaptability and why that's important, because some of the elements of that storyboard are not in your final video, which is completely fine. But tell me a bit about that adaptability and why you all have chosen to do reshoots both times around.
Yeah, so I will say for last year, we had to keep it to a minimum because we only have but so many phones, right? We can't keep breaking so many phones at the school. We'll have to go and like buy more, but yeah, I'm just playing. But for this year, we wanted to make sure that it felt authentic, right? We needed something to feel like it was just cohesive all around. With Kingston having to fall so many different times, we were trying to make sure that he was okay. We were trying to make sure that different, you know, lines were, you know, hitting the mark. And with some of our previous points, like you were mentioning, we don't have everything from our storyboard in our finalized product. Whether that be from incorporating things from our later scenes, we had to end up cutting back some things that we, you know, didn't feel were necessary. More so just creative elements that we thought we could implement. Like it would be cool to have in our commercial, but it wasn't what fit our final product. So having to retake some of those scenes in the later part of our commercial, it took some time. It really did. But, you know, we're really happy with the finalized product. We were all looking at it. Every single take that we had, we were filming off like 2 different phones too. So, you know, we were looking at it and we were going piece by piece, and everybody ended up, you know, putting in their little 2 cents about it. And we were all just really excited about the finalized product. So I can't wait for it to, you know, really be shown and for everybody to see, honestly. Yeah.
Nice. So what was, from last year to this year, what was the biggest difference of preparing for this, because from year 1 to year 2?
I would definitely say the loss of King Mode. I can't lie. No, he's still here, but King Mode definitely took his foot off the pedal this year, and that's because me and him are seniors, right? So we still have to make sure we're keeping in line with all of our academic stuff, making sure that we're applying to these colleges, doing our scholarships and whatnot. But for this year in particular, I know that he has it a bit more rough than I did, and I'm still at school for the most part. Like she was saying, I have 2 different classes there still. So this year, stepping into that leadership position, I wanted to make sure that we were not only doing our Fortnite challenges, but still having fun with it as well. Like, I remember we'll be getting on the weekends, and we're all just having fun, but doing our challenges at the same time. We're filming our commercials, and we're having so many takes, but we're laughing about it at the same time. Like, having that sort of leadership but fun aspect applied to everything that we've done this year, it's just been so rewarding. And I think that being in that leadership position has been the biggest shift for me this year.
And I'll give a bit of a humble brag for both Micah and King Mode as well, actually. So Micah has recently committed to UNC Chapel Hill.
Nice, congratulations.
Thank you.
So he'll be going to UNC Chapel Hill this fall. Last year's finalist, Kingston, recently committed to Georgia Tech. So yeah, shout out to Kingston and King Mode as well. Two amazing schools for our senior from last year and senior from this year as well as part of that. So super excited for y'all's future as well. But at this point, do we have anything else before we see that commercial, Bear?
Oh, super strong leader. I can tell already just by the way you're well-spoken, man. It's awesome. So let's see
Thank
what
you so much.
You got it, absolutely. Let's check out what he led, and let's see the final product here commercial from start to finish. Check it out.
Yo, I can't believe we did this. We won a STEM competition called Players League. We're gonna fight my way through Madden challenges and create a commercial and compete against 20 other teams. I'm so proud of.
Yo, where am I? And who are you? You don't get to ask the questions. Now tell me, is that you for Players League? I don't even know what you're talking about, man. So you're telling me that's not you? King Mode 08, Stay Plugged In.
Maybe, maybe not. Who's asking?
Bro, obviously me. I'm trying to get involved with Fortnite, Madden, STEM competitions. I'm trying to get in all of that.
Bro, are you serious? You could just ask me instead of handcuffing me.
How am I supposed to know you're gonna say yeah?
You just asked instead of pressing me to the ground.
You know what? You're right. Let's get to work.
Bruh. I'm handcuffed, Brody.
Oh, my fault. All right, let's get to work.
Man. That was awesome.
Good job. Good
Well,
job.
we saw all the factors of it as well, right? We saw the creativity, but we saw like the humor at the very end too. Like it all came together, just like you said, man. Very cool.
That was one of the main things we wanted to accomplish this year. I feel like, especially for most of our team, they're juniors too, so they're going through a lot for their junior year, hardest year of high school by far. We wanted to make sure that they were at least enjoying it somewhat, and stay plugged in, having that opportunity, having that outlet. We wanted to include that humorous aspect. We wanted to make it funny, so they're not just thinking about their classes all the time. They have something to look forward to at the end of the day, or even midway through their classes. So I think we accomplished that as well this year.
I can agree with you, absolutely. Let's start with Justin here. Talk a little bit about what you saw structure-wise here with the commercial.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the structure goes, it's very clean storytelling from, it basically looks like King Mode just got back from the finals, walks into the school to celebrate. It feels like a direct connection to, like, how last Players League ended and being able to immediately get into this action sequence, basically, where all of a sudden, complete scenery change, you see that fade out, you come back in, and now you have this great scene set up, the hands tied kind of action there, the dress and professionalism that looks like it works really well, Micah, how you're dressed for it. It shows that kind of like CIA, FBI type look. It works really well, and finalizing on coming together and uniting, which is what Players League all about, is uniting people together, is a super well structured presentation as a whole. I think it's super great. It's super exciting. I love that you all have emphasis on the different areas of Players League that are involved as well as part of that. So it comes together very well as a strong product.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure we highlighted everything too. We got people in Madden, we got people in Fortnite, STEM too. Our group is so diverse. We didn't just want to have it be like, we're all doing Madden or we're all doing Fortnite. We wanted to make sure we are at least like well-versed in everything, spread out, have variety. So that's where those aspects sort of came into. I think it was Xander that actually came up with that sort of emphasis on everything that Players League is all about. So I got to thank him. Credits him. Yeah.
Right. So what was your inspiration behind that whole setup of the scene? Because I've seen that scene from movie shots to music videos. So where was the inspiration from?
I honestly think it just had to be from like those really like funny comedy like movies that we've always seen. I gotta think like maybe like Friday movies, especially just having those sort of really funny but serious sort of talks, but still you add that comedic element. I just think that was something that all across the board we wanted. Like that was the first thing. Day one we started that storyboard, we were like, let's punch Kingston. No, I'm saying, but like, yeah, we definitely wanted some sort of aspect. I'm just happy they didn't suggest me to get punched. But yeah, we took that trophy and we ran with it. We wanted to incorporate that aspect. So all that comedical stuff, it just came from everyone across the board. Everyone was having their little conversation about it, and we just so happened to punch Kingston. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Together.
Did you ever actually punch him by accident at all?
Oh, no. I was too scared to. I can't lie. Because, yeah, I was even having to help him off the ground, too. I don't know. He looked like he was on there for quite some time. But I made it my duty not to actually hurt him. So.
He has a king mode. There's no way you can do that. What I loved about the storytelling, too, is, like, it's what's unique to your school, too. I think that's what people miss is, like, they can tell a story about – what Players League is, right? But is that the true story? The true story is, potentially, King Mode last time winning, handing and passing the torch to you. And I really like the way that you captured that with the director cut, too, where you kind of went back and forth with King Mode. I don't know if this was intentional to Micah back to Kingston. So I thought that was really cool how you're able to incorporate that as well. So was that intentional?
It actually was, yeah.
Nice.
We've taken those sort of with the fourth wall break that he had when he looks at the camera.
Yeah.
We took a lot of inspiration from shows like that sort of have that same sort of like cut to it. That sort of really fast camera movement where you're panning to Kingston, then you're panning back to me really fast. He's zooming in on my phone. It was those same sort of camera motions that we don't have the professional equipment for, but Xander locked in for that. Like he made sure he did the editing. He made sure he was, doing the camera direction, and we were really happy with that finalized product. So it was 100% intentional. It was by design, and we're really happy with that outlook.
That's super cool. Anything y'all got?
I'll note the fact that Xander does work very hard. I got their commercial at it was due Thursday. By the end of the day, I got it at Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Like literally till the last second.
Everything
And
I can do, yeah.
Not the only school that was like that either. I promise you that. But overall, like very great work throughout this process, Micah, and to the whole Kearns group. But do you have any major learnings or takeaways from this time around versus the previous time?
Oh, yeah. I think this year it's just been about, like, coordination. That's been the biggest thing this year. Last year going into it, we had the prompts. For our video, we had the prompts. We had, going into it, the one competition and then the STEM. But coordinating 3 different, like, sort of pieces to it, it was different from last year going into this year. And again, me taking sort of like that leadership position was something that I really wanted to emphasize. But I felt like it really turned out great this year. We all end up having fun. Our commercial, we're really happy with it. And yeah, I just think that is our biggest takeaway. And hopefully, I'm passing the torch on to whoever is doing it next year, whether it be one of the juniors or whether it be some new students coming in next year. I really just hope that they take inspiration from what we've been able to accomplish, regardless of what the outcome is today. Just taking that same inspiration, that same passion, and just putting it to whatever work they get into next year.
Yep, and last question for me is, how did you feel in that leadership position? Because sometimes, being, you could be introvert, outrovert, and you just feel uncomfortable doing it. But what was it like for you going through that part?
I would say I'm pretty much of an introvert, but I feel like I've known these people for a while. I've known them for 3+ years. So going into it, I already felt really comfortable with this group of people. And it's still some of the same people that we had from last year's team. We had a couple new add-ons, but even then I was still pretty much their friends. They got added on because of the Fortnite challenges and whatnot, right? So it wasn't difficult at all. But I will say the time management, the coordination still, that was things I had to learn. Being in the same classroom and still talking about aspects of what we want our commercial to be, and still having to, struggle with Miss Smith to get our assignments all done for cybersecurity. That was also difficult and a bit of a struggle. But we were all like one big family this year. We knew that for me and Kingston, this was gonna be our last year going into it. We just made sure that we had that passion component, and we were really happy with whatever we had. So that's one of the biggest takeaways from this year.
It certainly showed, too. It really was a fantastic product. So, again, congratulations for being here. We're going to tally those scores, and we'll see if they can't repeat from last year as well, of Kearns Academy, again, passing the torch. And we got to pass the torch to the next finalist as well. So we're going to take a quick break while we put that together. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Players League Finals here, 2026 edition of the football style of Players League. We got our next finalist up here, Nick Dennison from C-Tech Blue, another incredible finalist, and bringing his unique perspective here to the stage. We'll get to talk to you in just a second, but we want to see Nick's journey along the way. Let's check it out.
I remember it was a random school day. I just showed up like every other day at Spark, 5th period. Just was going to go on my day, just do random stuff. And then Miss Stufman said, hey, we got this thing going on, Spin. You play Fortnite, you make a commercial, you do all sorts of stuff. It sounded fun. I've always kind of had a knack and an interest for making videos and cool stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll join this. Wasn't super big into Fortnite, wasn't super big into Madden, but the commercial part sounded really fun. So after a while, at the beginning, I just kind of started going along my way, earning points, played some Fortnite. Then we got into filming the commercial. That was a lot of fun. We didn't even really have much of a flow to it. We just kind of did whatever video idea we thought would be cool. Just like, hey, we should record this. Yeah, let's do that and add this in. How about this sound effect? We should add this transition. It was cool.
But it was really great watching the kids kind of divide and conquer, because it seemed like just naturally they created their Fortnite point machines, the ones that would just churn out those screenshots. And then you've got these incredibly creative students that are like, okay, we're going to make this commercial. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be awesome. We're going to pull together and do this as a team. It was just really cool seeing kids come together with a common goal and just do a great job at it. It's just really nice to see anytime we see any community building type stuff like this, and it kind of built a little community, so it's cool.
I have always felt like he had a knack for those kinds of things, be it filming or editing, pretty much anything media. And I feel like that could be easily, any of the kids at C-Tech. They just have an innate ability in a draw towards the technology and being able to develop an idea into what they're seeing. And I love that, because my brain does not work that way. So anything that my kid is doing that's so exceptional and above something that I can I'm just going to put it out there, really understand and digest myself, I couldn't do what he did. So I come from the platform, that jumping off point of can you believe he did this? Because not just myself, but I'm just going to put it out there, all us moms, we couldn't do what half of these kids do.
So that was amazing. And then scrambling towards the end to lift these people up. I'm like, okay, who wants to go? Who can go? Who can physically get there? And then out of that, who do we all want to lift up for a little bit? Because it was kind of even Stevens, and then finally I got one last little vote for Nick, and I'm like, yes, awesome, because yours was my vote.
Thank you.
But it was just really cool to see everybody kind of like pull together and just kind of enjoy and bask in the glory. It was really surprising and really wonderful at the same time.
I have considered a lot of stuff. Probably something in the creative fields, like some of the stuff that we worked on here. That's what I was hoping and inspiring for. Gone around to social media websites and platforms, YouTube, Pinterest, all sorts of stuff. And I've always been kind of drawn towards like animators, creators, just people that just like, hey, yo, I thought of some cool stuff, and then they just go doodle it, make it, just throw it all together. I always wanted to do that. I just never had the time or the energy to really make something like that of my own. So actually being able to learn and do that, like as a career or something, like make a story, comic, movie, film, something really cool like that, that would be awesome.
I love it. Inspiring creator. Let's go. Inspiring to be to the finals as well. So congratulations for getting this far, Nick.
Thank you.
Yeah, excited to be able to talk to you further about this project, and you get to represent C-Tech here from my home state of North Carolina as well. So,
oh, really? You're from North Carolina?
Sure am. Yes,
nice,
sir. From the Charlotte area. So excited to hear about you and your journey as far as Players League goes. Like, what did you have fun with?
Definitely just kind of like I said in the video, just throwing ideas out there, kind of like not even onto chalkboard, just like on anything we could find. Like, ooh, how about this? What about this? How about this? We didn't really have like an idea or like a flow to making it. We were just kind of like, let's just throw anything at the wall, see what sticks, see what's cool. In the end, we just kind of like compiled like a giant montage of all of our greatest ideas into the commercial, which ended up being a montage. But it was awesome. We tried to get all the cool things about Players League, all the best stuff, the games, the making, filming. We just grabbed everything that we liked. And we're like, you know what? This is cool, this is cool, this is cool. Throw it in a blender, and you make something cool.
And you had a team around you as well, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. I could not have done this on my own.
Perfect. Talk a little bit about them and how important they were and who they were, all of that good stuff.
A couple people in particular. Ava, she made the soundtrack for the video. She made this really awesome beat that played over nearly the entire commercial. Ina, she helped me edit a ton of it. Who else was there helping? Nick Gilbert and Brady, they were some really big, important actors in it. I think they were in the majority of shots that we filmed. And several other people along the way. Marcus, Braden, man, there's a ton of them. I can't remember all of them, but I couldn't have done it without them.
Yeah.
I want to say, even if I did forget anyone, their names will all be in the video.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, let's talk storyboard. Let's talk about how you put it together, because obviously, you know, the ideation process is something that you talked about. Hey, this idea, that idea, let's incorporate it into this. So talk a little bit about your storyboard and how this came together.
So this is probably the man, I'm not even really sure how we created a storyboard in the end with how much stuff we just threw out there. We had so many ideas. How many is this isn't even like half the stuff that we came up with. There's like probably a dozen more ideas and concepts and stuff that we threw out there, stuff that never made it to the final table. But we just had so many ideas. I know I've been talking a lot about that, but
yeah,
I feel like 10 billion ideas, only one video. We were like, all right, how many things can we implement here?
Perfect.
How many like cool things we just like?
Yeah, and you know, this is something we talked about with one of the groups that didn't make the cut in Bayport, is that there's a ton of creative ideas that a lot of groups have and a lot of students have, and you all, especially with one of the larger group sizes here, have a lot of people come to the table with a lot of great thoughts. But being able to narrow that down, like we'll see in this commercial and as we saw in the storyboard, it is a big deal and a big accomplishment on its own. To have, you know, 8 high schoolers in a space talking about it and coming together on one idea that's only going to last 90 seconds at most is a hard task to defeat, and you all were able to accomplish that. So, you know, with that, what's your favorite element of that storyboard as we go into this commercial?
Oh, I know what it is. The banana costumes. Might have spoiled a little of it, but Yeah, we have, for some reason, a bunch of banana costumes at C-Tech that we try to use as much as possible in all of our esports events. So a lot of people in the area know us as, oh, yeah, I know those guys. They're the dudes that come to the competitions dressed as bananas.
Yeah, and I will tell you an amazing story.
Why not?
An amazing story that's absolutely hilarious as part of this. So, as part of our teachings, we teach about camera shots and camera angles in that early on time about storyboards. And I use some of our previous Stay Plugged In LAN footage for some of that events. And I happened to use an event from Wake Forest back in 2023 that has a good wide shot, medium shot, and a close-up shot of someone in a banana costume that happened to go to C-Tech, and they have this same banana costume. And actually, that guy's sister is on one of the teams that competed this spring as part of that. Like, what a small world. Because as soon as I showed it, they were like, I hear someone yell just on the screen, "That's my brother!" And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm used to the same footage ever since I've worked here as part of this. So it was really cool to have that crossover of the banana costume coming up again, because it is a connection.
I'm going to be honest, I have no clue who you're talking about because there's so many people I've seen wearing banana costumes. It doesn't narrow it down at all. It could be anyone. It could be me. It could be someone else. I don't know.
You want to stand out. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I wore a banana hat, not the costume. The hat was cool.
Well, we got a little bit of a sneak peek. Obviously, there's going to be banana costumes. What else will be as part of this video? Let's go ahead and check out the full video as is. Go ahead and roll it.
All right.
Freaking bull sucks, man. I hate it. Wait a minute. It's 1 o'clock. I think you just got a notification. You got a notification. What's the notification? I'm not gonna believe it. What is it?
Incredible job. Incredible job. Give it up, everybody here.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Shout out Ava for that awesome background music. I was vibing to that the whole time.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's one of the best tracks I've heard in a while that someone's put together there.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Justin, you can kick it off if you have any questions here.
Yeah, I think overall, I'll give some feedback first, just kind of on the structure. I was overall pretty happy with how it comes together because as they were able to know, and y'all wouldn't know this, is they talk about the notification at 1 p.m. I schedule my Fortnite emails for 1 p.m. to go out in the afternoon to say, hey, here's your Fortnite weekly challenges. It was always scheduled for Monday at 1 p.m. It was a cool touch and a notice there as part of that. Okay. And then going throughout talking about, hey, here's the esports side. Now, here's us doing the storyboard. Now, here's us doing the editing and going through that entire process. You know, it encompasses Players League at a very high level. And it tells story without using a ton of speaking points. So we talked about like West Springfield earlier had 0 speaking as part of that one. This one had a bit of an intro there, and the intro speaking works, and then you're engaged, you're in, because you hear that commentary, and now you're following along the rest of the way. That structure works very well all in all. So for using minimal words, it tells a full story. So that's very impressive all in all. So I guess with that, I'll ask this. As far as putting in all the aspects of Players League, obviously you all had a lot of ideas. How important was it to you all to encompass the esports and the STEM side of Players League?
We wanted to make sure that we went over all the major bases of what Players League was. Like, we got to get some of the game footage, we got to get some of the design footage, the filming, the compiling, everything. That's kind of just what the montage was about. Just point A, point B, point C, point D, end.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Even though that's a little simple, a little basic, we just want to make sure, like, this, like, the grand big overview of everything. Just kind of put it all into one big picture.
100%. Amon,
Got
you feel the impact of that through the commercial?
No, definitely. Like you said, it was a montage of things, of stuff y'all just kind of threw on the board or whatever in terms of the storyboard part of it. When you saw it, when you're like, man, that was just part of it. So what was the final like destination to pick out what part of them? I say montage shots that you had to get down to those 4 or 5 shots that you ended up with.
Well, there definitely were a ton of shots we had that did not make the final cut. Yeah, also, like, along with a ton of ideas that we couldn't implement, there were a lot of shots and stuff that we couldn't implement because we had to get it down to a minute. We actually had to shrink a lot of the video because it was originally, like, over 2 minutes, I think, of just, like, straight montage. So we definitely had to cut out a lot of stuff, but in the end, I wanted to choose, like, the best, most notable, coolest stuff that we could find.
Nice. Like I think you had a Batman little sound right there.
Yeah.
I'm a Batman fan there, so good job
let's
there.
go.
Keep that going.
Yep, and to Justin's point, just to talk a little bit about the storytelling here, I think it encompassed legit everything that we were looking for. You showed the entirety of the process from start to finish, and then filled in some of the gaps where maybe others might have left that empty. So I love that you included every single thing, and then that entirety of the scope you brought it together within that time frame too, which I thought was excellent.
Yeah, and I saw not a negative or I say not a negative or a positive, but something that you're probably the only group that had closed caption on the part on your video. So not a point taken away, or I say a point added to you guys, but something that you see on stream and content is having that closed caption for people that obviously need to have that as a necessity when they're watching the show on video, basically.
I'll say for me, it's a point. In my opinion, accessibility-wise, it's a point to me to be able to have that ability to have people who are hard of hearing or need those subtitles to have that along the way. Nick, I'm curious if you can talk a bit more detail to those at home and to y'all as well. This exact group with C-Tech, they had 2 teams as part of this, but on top of that, this was part of a pilot with Spark NC and using a Spark NC lab space that you all are earning credit from this as part of that, and you have to do a reflection afterwards, I believe, as part of that. Tell me a bit more about what that looks like.
Oh, you have the Spark part of it.
Yeah, tell me a bit about that.
Except pretty sure nearly everyone that did this commercial is currently taking the Spark class right now, Spark NC. And the way it works is that there are no grades, no big assignments, nothing crazy like that. What we do is you complete units, which are like little courses, projects, things where you design, create, build, make something, and then fill out stuff about it on a computer. You turn that in. That is a 6th of your credit. Actually, I stand corrected. It's a little more than that. You also have to make a portfolio, list all the stuff you did, present that, do other cool stuff. And it doesn't just have to be like something that you made. It could be any computer technology-based thing out there. Like I haven't even done a ton of these units, like the actual like big ones. Stuff like this is where like the majority of my points came from, which I don't really know if you're supposed to do that, but that's what I did and it worked. So, and I made something, so I'd say it's fair.
Yeah.
But also like going to experiences and stuff. Like I attended this conference at the North Carolina School of Science and Math. Absolutely amazing high school. Apparently the number 1 ranked public high school in the country.
Wow.
And
it was awesome. That kind of as a credit. As a credit.
And you talk about experiences. Obviously, you got to go to the NFL draft yesterday. If
that was
If anybody
crazy.
can't tell, he's got a new Pats hat with the NFL draft pin and the NFL draft patch on top of it. How was your experience last night? How's it been for you here so far?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm still having a little bit of a hard time processing it all because
it's a lot.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've been like kind of into sports. I kind of like fade. I used to be like pretty into baseball, a little into football. Talked with friends that were sports fans, hung out with relatives that were sports fans. So it's been a while since I was kind of big into football or anything. But going last night, I finally actually like got to like reconnect with some of that. Finally got to show a little more love for my team. And I also was able to pick up some new trading cards, some of the Topps Chrome set.
Nice.
So hopefully I can get back into that too.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It was really cool. I think one of the coolest things that I heard too is like you didn't even have that like super strong like esports only kind of focus and lens that we see with some students. You said you came in right in and said I want to be like I love the creative side of this. I like being able to like create a video or something like that. Did you find yourself kind of inspiring some that might have been more esports focused? I just love the fact that you have that focus on storytelling, man. That's cool.
I will say I don't know how how much I kind of like led the torch on that. I know I definitely helped out a lot, but the whole thing was just kind of a collective of all of our thoughts. I don't really know if there was one big leader or one big giant step. It was all of us just compiling what we loved into it.
And one thing I'll say about him, because I'm sure his mom wants me to say this too, he's modest about a lot of stuff. He does do a lot more work than that, and she was a lot of credit in the intro video as well for him as well. But he is a very modest kid. He does a lot of hard work, and your group did a lot of hard work as a whole as well. But make sure to keep taking credit for the work that you keep doing, man, because this is excellent stuff.
Yep. So yeah, I just want to add one thing, like from all of this, what was the one thing that I'd say take away from yourself that you feel, man, I'm glad I did this, or I learned this now from this situation, from this event?
I am super happy that I was able to like actually compile like a true and real video, edit that, film the shots. I did record a couple shots, and I was in some of it myself. The only really big video I made besides this was my application to C-Tech in another high school in the area, which I made using the same engine, CapCut. So I already had a little bit of experience, but this is my first kind of like project. Whereas more than just like a little, oh hey, I got to do this thing. No, it's like really out there. Like we got to like actually make something cool now.
Nice.
All seriousness, you guys did an amazing job. Fantastic commercial start to finish, and again, congratulations for getting here.
Yep.
Thank you.
Awesome. We're going to go ahead and calculate the scores here and take that quick break. We'll be right back here on Players League Finals.
Let's go.
Welcome back to the 2026 Players League Football Finals. We got our last finalist with us here on the desk. Jaime Castillo joins us here from Quest Forward High School, or Quest Forward over in Omaha as well. So, again, that journey, the third finalist, the final one. We've gotten scores for the first two. You're the last one on the hot seat here, but before we get to you, we want to check out what your journey's been like. So check out this quick video.
I woke up, and the first thing I do is check my phone when I wake up. And I just checked the Discord because I got a notification. And then I just scrolled all the way to the bottom, and I didn't see my name down there. So I figured, oh, I'm in there. And yeah, it was pretty cool. I couldn't stop smiling.
I brought it up a couple times in the past, but I never really looked at it as like a big deal. I thought it was just one of those like after school activities that he did. But I never knew that all this would come out of it, you know what I mean? So that was pretty exciting just because, I'm always excited for any little opportunity that my brother gets. So for him to even just invite me, dude, that was awesome. So I'm beyond stoked right now. Every time I think about it, I just get a smile on my face.
My esports coach, Mr. T, he's also my government teacher. He told me about it at first, and I'm all about video games, all of that. So I was down to join it, especially when I heard it was Madden. I think the hardest part was probably trying to get them to film and trying to get the clips right, because a lot of times they were just messing around, but we got it to work. And then the easiest part, definitely just editing the video. Just having fun with it. Definitely when I do want to start a business eventually, so just getting to know how to do that more and editing videos, commercials, all that.
I have my own little business as well, and anytime I just want to be a little bit more creative because I'm an old cat now. I'm not as creative as my brother. I always be like, hey man, if maybe you could do this for me, like editing wise, a video, because I like to make content because I also like cut grass. So anytime I try to come up with like an idea, I always run it to my brother first because my brother's pretty talented as you guys see for yourselves. So I support him a lot, and I think that's pretty cool what he's doing, and hopefully he can use it a lot in the future.
Watching our students go through the Players League experience has been a real positive. A couple of things that stand out are some of the leadership opportunities for our students as they work on a project together. I've enjoyed watching them progress in terms of teamwork as they've continued to develop their project. And I would say those are two things that really stand out for me. Yeah, so for one of our students to be able to fly out to Pittsburgh is an incredible accomplishment for that student, incredible experience, and we're so excited for that student, and they're so well deserving in terms of the work that they put in and the leadership, and really being able to watch them grow over the course of this semester, and their leadership and their communication with the rest of their team, and it's just been awesome to watch, and could not be more excited to send them out to Pittsburgh.
And Jaime, welcome in to Pittsburgh and the Players League Final. Congratulations for being here, man.
Thank you, thank you.
How does it feel?
It feels great. I'm stoked. Still can't believe I'm here.
Obviously, got a chance to be at the NFL draft, but it was a journey all the way from
yeah.
Nebraska, the farthest travel here for this competition.
Yes,
What's
sir.
that journey as a whole been like, travel-wise and getting to see the NFL draft?
It's crazy. I'm from Nebraska. We don't really have anything over there, so just to be able to, just to be able to come over here and just have this opportunity is amazing.
That's amazing, man. I'm excited to get right to it. So that being said, it's been quite a process. I know that. Before we go and check out this commercial, I do have to ask, when your teammates are kind of, messing around a little bit, obviously you kind of have to guide them. What was that like, being a leader, becoming that leader?
It was kind of hard just because, most of them were freshmen, so just having to keep them on track was kind of rough, but we got through it and we made a commercial and we finished it, so.
Seeing your brother gas you up too was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
What does it mean to have a brother like that who's supporting?
Oh, definitely amazing. He's always there for me, so if I need anything, he's always down to help me, so, and I'm always down to help him, so.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so real quick, how did it feel to get help your brother out in that, showing him the stuff that so he can help him. You can help him with his posts from time to time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've helped him a couple times editing pictures for him. So it's pretty cool, and just teaching him how to use it himself, if I'm not ever there. So
there you go.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and check out what you put together. Jaime, representing, of course, as we mentioned. Let's go ahead and check out the video. Oh, sorry, we'll take out the storyboard here first, and tell us how you got to this conclusion. Where your ideas were and how it landed into this final form.
yeah, so everybody on the team had different ideas. So we try to find a way to incorporate everybody's idea into the storyboard and commercial. So we just had a little bit of everybody's idea into it, and that's what we got.
Perfect. How much was it your idea to or how many of your ideas got incorporated in here? Was it a majority, would you say?
Yeah, it's a decent amount. Everybody had a fair share in the commercial with the ideas, so.
And Justin, what?
I think something, another group that we worked with as part of this group was actually a book creator to be able to help offer another way for students to create their storyboards through their tool. That was something that Quest 4 took advantage of, and using Book Creator to put that together. And using images online and being able to fit that text in it, it helps tell the story very well and very easily in a way that is much, I don't want to say more effective, but a bit more of an easier point A to point B than writing from scratch, drawing from scratch. It's nice to be able to gather some images and work around in that way, shape, and form. But that storyboard was a super great storyboard. It was one of the first ones we actually got submitted, so they were one of the first finalized storyboards of the whole group. And you guys set a really strong standard to start. With your storyboard, though, I think you all came together and you kept a lot of that concept in your final commercial. Was there any kind of hesitation or any changes in ideas last second that you all were considering?
Just the music, the background music, the dialogue. It was kind of hard to get the dialogue, but we worked it out, we figured it out, and we got it on the commercial.
Yeah, how excited were you to use that storyboard makeup? Because to see that compared to the other storyboards, like you said, Justin, it's like makes your idea come out way better. And so, what was that feeling like to use that app?
Oh, it was great. It definitely helped us to incorporate our commercial and the clips that we needed to put in order as well. So that's definitely the big part of the storyboard that helped us out.
Nice.
Get all the clips in order.
Gotcha.
And talk about your team as well. Who did you have joining you for your team, and what kind of roles did they play?
Elijah and Mo, I think they played the most important role, especially acting. Because the other team, they did acting as well, but once we would start recording, they would just burst out laughing. So it was kind of, we needed them to calm down a little bit. But Elijah and Mo, they were there. So.
And I'll add to that too. They got some funny folks over there, and we there is probably an interview we should release at some point of them interviewing Amon for that group.
I was there during the summer.
No, this was the group that you talked to that asked you the question about Fish. They asked you the question. They asked if you could call up MJ or Odell for them real quick.
Oh, yeah, that was I remember.
They were a funny group, huh?
Yes,
they gave you a good time.
They did. They were shooting from the hip. They were shooting from the hip for sure. They were having a good time, and I love that part of it. You know, the interview process, because sometimes it could get a little nervous or things like that, and they definitely cut down that wall. It was nobody nervous in that conversation at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes good vibes can carry you through. Let's see how it came all together and check out the final version of the video right now. Check this out.
I got love. Welcome to Players League, where every gamer think they've got game until it's time to prove it. Players League is where the best of the best compete. You want to be great? Well, now is your chance. Study the plays, master the sticks. You talk that Madden talk, bring it to the league. Players League, Madden 26, real competition, real champions.
Let's go.
Wow.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
It's so clean. So clean.
First thing that stood out to me is clearly like the storyboard coming to life, number one. Number two, the transitions.
Yes.
Absolutely outstanding.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, that's part of what you do on a regular
Yeah.
basis before you came in, or is that something you learned along the way, or kind of both?
No, I've been doing it for a while. I make like little basketball edits every now and then, so.
Oh, it shows. It definitely shows the transition between like going from the Saquon's jump into the gameplay.
Yes, exactly.
And Pat's throw into, or from somebody else's throw or something to Pat's throw. It was just seamless, basically, and that's what you want to see.
Yeah.
Good. And then time-wise, from the guidelines that Justin puts up too, you hit it. You guys hit it in that situation, in that area as well. So good job.
All right. Let's hear from Justin first. As far as first judge, your thoughts here.
The structure is perfect in my opinion. Like it highlights the Madden side of things, which is completely fine. Like I said, we don't need to highlight everything, but with that, the structure is very perfect and kind of emphasizing the competitive side of things. What you can expect from Madden competition, esports competition. I will tell you, and I'll say this ahead of time because I don't think it's going to relate too much to my points. Out of the three, this is the one that if someone showed me all of them, I would have said was most likely to be like a professionally used commercial for Players League. Like this was the one that I would have said right off the bat, like that is probably the one that somebody on the StayPluggedIn team made. I would have been like, Matt over Emerge definitely made that one is what I would have probably said. But it was you, and it's absolutely fantastic. It fits the brand perfectly. Players League, it fits right into everything that we kind of talk about on the competitive side of the league. It is a very professionally well done piece of footage, like very well done, of course.
Fantastic. Over to Amon, cover the impact here.
Yeah, the impact, man, just to see it, like for me watching that thing gets me right into what you're saying, like the voiceover is saying, get into the competition. You talk game, now come show it. They hear that dialogue tie in with what the actual caption is with the pictures. All ties in seamlessly, so that's something that will get me motivated to play. If I wasn't part of this group already, being a commissioner, I'd be like, man, I want to get in the Players League too, and have some fun and compete. So good job.
Thank you.
Yep.
And from my perspective, when I talk storytelling, I mean, as far as like, I felt like I was gonna like jump onto the field, like if I joined Players League, and that really says a lot about it. And I thought you really told a brilliant story as far as the competitive side. What I would like to see is more so on the content creation side, because that's what you're excel at as well, right? But as far as the structure goes and what you told on the on the competition side, I know that you're capable of that and that you would be able to tell that. That's the only thing, in my opinion, that was missing there. But as far as the product goes, got to go back to Justin, because that was very polished and told a deep story that really let you go. And there was continuation, obviously, because of those transitions too, which I thought was excellent. Justin, I'll go to you. Any questions that you have?
Yeah, I think I'm curious specifically about what tools did you use to bring this to life? Because the voiceover, for example, is something that is not something that's on the traditional video editors, for example. We talk about some AI tools that could do that as well, but tell me a bit about what tools you used to put that together.
Yeah, so for the app, I edited on just CapCut.
Yeah.
And then just for the dialogue, yeah, I used the AI voiceover, which helped me a lot because nobody wanted to do it. So
It worked very well. It came out very, very pretty. Like people know it's AI, but at the same time, like it's legit. It's legit. It sounds very clean and polished. So love it.
Yeah, AI works. AI works. There are a lot of people talk about not using it, be authentic in your graphic design and making the artwork and making it pop. But I'm like, hey, if you have an app and it's new and it actually works and it sounds good and it flows with whatever you're doing, use it and take advantage of the quirks that AI brings in. It's just a part of, if you're into content creation on any level, graphic design on any level, it's just another tool in your toolbox. I know I said that a couple times already, but it is a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I was having a conversation with one of the parents of some of the Auburn students out there during one of our breaks and talking about the fact that right now it is very much just like you're on one side of the fence or the other about AI for a lot of people right now. It is either you're going to use it or you're not going to use it. There's not many people who are like, oh, I'm going to use it for this, but not use it for that, or use it for this and not use it for that. It is very much just you're on one side of the fence or the other, and really it's not black and white. It's gray at the end of the day, and AI is very new. We might not quite be there yet, and that's completely fine. But I think over time we're going to kind of see what this encompassed, which was a gray area. This is the definition of the gray area of AI, where it gives just enough help and support, but at the same time, you still see that students' work show through. So I think this was an excellent use of AI, which was one of the big purposes and add-ons to the Players League content creation this time around.
And it goes back to what I was saying as well. It's like you have to be the driver of AI. Like what are some of the benefits that you can get out of it? Like what's the best positive impact that you can potentially get for it when you're in this situation currently? I like that a lot. As far like Jaime, talk about like your biggest challenge along the way. Obviously, you're trying to lock in your team was part of that. Would you call that your biggest challenge, or like the editing process? What stood out there as far as your biggest challenge?
I think both. Yeah, definitely the team, just getting them together. Also the editing. It was kind of easy for the most part, but just trying to get the transition smooth and just make sure nothing's glitchy, everything looks perfect, and yeah.
Talk about the specific things that you learned as well that maybe got you to this point.
Yeah, definitely some new editing skills I learned. I did a lot of editing before, but just using new ones that I haven't used before. So just taking a risk and hoping it works out.
Fantastic. Well, you did a incredible job to put that together. It was amazing.
Appreciate it.
Shout out the rest of the team as well, of course, there with Quest Forward on their Omaha side of things too. But we do have to make those judgments, so we'll get your scores in and everything, so make sure you hang around here. We're going to take that quick break as we do the final calculations and be right back to see who wins the Players League 2026 Football Edition. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the 2026 Players League Football Finals. I'm bringing in all the guests here, all of the finalists again. Jaime, Nick, and Micah here on the stage to talk to us a little bit about everything. And we'll start and go down the line here. We'll start with you, Jaime. I want to ask here, how does it feel going to the NFL draft? I know we talked about that a little bit earlier. You're rocking the Chiefs hat, and being a finalist here at the end of the day.
Yeah, football was the first sport I started watching, NFL, and then Chiefs. I started watching that, and it just became my favorite team. And just everything about football is incredible, and also playing it too, and just being here is an honor.
Nick, you mentioned you were getting back into sports to some degree.
Yeah. Had a ton of family that's into sports, tons of friends, and I got a little into it when I was younger, but then it kind of faded away. So this kind of re-sparked my interest in it, and hopefully I can keep heading down this route.
That's
Hopefully
amazing. Yeah, and then being a finalist here too. Talk about that.
To be honest, it's just kind of surreal. I never really thought that I would make it this far, but this is awesome. Super thankful being able to be here today.
That's amazing. I love that. Micah, same question.
I would say for me, sort of like same page he's on. It's like I used to be like a really big fan of football. I still am. I still try to keep as updated as possible, even though my team Falcons like they aren't that good. But you know, coming back into this event, you know, going to such a city, they're passionate about the Steelers. Like, it made me want to be passionate about my team too, regardless of their performances. You know, we won't talk about that 28-3. But anyway, just being a finalist here. Again, like seeing what Kingston was able to accomplish last year, you know, it made me want to be able to reach those same heights. And I just think that, you know, no matter the outcome, if we can make that back-to-back happen, if we can't, it's just been amazing so far. I'm happy to have had this experience, and hopefully we can take it further even when I do graduate. So
That's awesome. That's something I noticed too, is the culture of Pittsburgh too. I didn't want to like it, but I came in, it was like awesome. But it's great that you had that great experience too. So let's talk about it. The full 8-week journey. Think all the way back like 9 weeks ago when you're just about to start. What stood out to you the most along the way, Jaime?
What stood out to me the most is I wasn't too fond about the idea of the STEM part about of Players League. I didn't know too much about it, and I just thought it was gonna be hard. But once we started doing it, we were on a roll. We were in flow state, so yeah.
Sometimes it just takes, you know, starting it up, and then suddenly it just rolls downhill,
sure.
man. It becomes a snowball. Nick, did you have a similar experience, or think back like 8 weeks? You know, what was your biggest takeaway along the way?
Kind of just finding whatever you think is really the coolest and just leaning into that full throttle. Just doing what you love and having fun with it. We had like I said before, and like I keep saying, just so many ideas. We had so many thoughts just flying around everywhere.
Did you notice that all of your teammates were playing to their strengths as well?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone just did what they loved the most, whether it was Fortnite, making the commercial, making music, just having fun with it, just being silly, being goofy, having a great time. We did that and it ended up working out just fine.
All right. Micah, take us through that time machine.
I think for us, it's definitely having to learn so many different skills. Yeah. The previous year, we've had, you know, people sort of like delegated to task. But this year, let me tell you, we all got involved with everything. The video editing, the actual gaming aspects. Like I think back to those 8 weeks, and I'm like dang, we really made everything work. We were all so well rounded, and I just think that that's been the most accomplishing part for at least me, and I think all my teammates would agree as well.
That's amazing, man. That takes us to the next question. What was your favorite part of the journey? So not just like, you know, how did you have it as a whole? What was your favorite part of creating the commercial, through esports competition, NFL draft, all of it? What was your favorite part, Jaime?
Well, definitely the NFL draft, of course, but also working with my teammates. You know, some days when we would film, we would joke around, but we were serious as well. And yeah, just enjoying the company of my team and helping each other out.
Nick, what did you enjoy the most?
Really just actually really making something. In the end, I'm really satisfied that we were actually able to create a product. I didn't know how good it was going to be or that it was going to be enough to this scale, but really proud of it.
A little bit more fun than sitting in class and learning that way?
Oh, absolutely. This didn't really feel like school at all. This felt like, hey, we should just make this cool thing. It felt more like a hobby instead of a assignment.
Amazing, dude.
And that was good.
I love it. Micah, what's your favorite part?
For me, it was the rivalries. I have to say for sure. That week 4, I still remember it to this day. Those unlimited victory royales, it had everybody on their seat, and I think we all really, you know, adopted that so well. Every team, I got to give it up to C Tech Green. Like they kept us up on our toes. Bayport, they put in so much effort, and I really think that after week 4, we all wanted it like so bad. So that was definitely my favorite part of the Fortnite side. Yeah.
That's incredible, man. I love that. All right, well, was there a specific week or part of the program that really started to click with you? Because, Jaime, I know you mentioned it's kind of a snowball. It starts to flow a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, when did you kind of notice that? When did it start to click?
Definitely when we got our commercial together and we were just looking through it, just trying to make sure there weren't any mistakes that we made on our video, just making sure everything was smooth.
Nice. Nick, at what point of the process are you like, okay, this is making sense. I think we might get a finals appearance?
I think maybe like this, 7th week or so, the commercial was really starting to snowball into something, and I was like, all right, this is actually turning out to be a product. I had no clue we were making it to the finals, though. I had zero idea we would be here today.
And here you are.
It's so awesome.
We love it, man. Micah.
For me, it's got to be the same. That week, like 7 mark. Definitely when we were doing the extra recordings, doing the extra takes, like we really started to as Miss Smith would say, like just lock in. Like that was really that lock in season for all of us, and that was when we really started to see the puzzle pieces coming together. So yeah,
I love it. This might be a little bit of the same question to some degree, especially if you were talking about the STEM part, but we want to zoom into that project in particular. What about that process was your favorite part, Jaime?
Definitely editing the video and just getting the different ideas from the team. Like I said, everybody had different ideas, so including everybody's idea, even if it was just like picking the music or just picking the clip or the transition we should use. So yeah.
Nice. And Nick, I know you're the idea guy. You love to create those ideas. Was that your favorite part of the process, or was it something else?
Absolutely. We were just I remember there was one day we were like, hey, let's go into this like random like it was like I think it was like a storage room in the school. We're like, let's see if there's anything cool there. We found like a bunch of old monitors. And we're like, hey, we should use those. We didn't end up using them, but it was still cool. Just the sheer just thrill of the hunt, the joy of the hunt. I forgot the term for it, but that was awesome.
But it's exactly right. It's like almost like, hey, what can we use? What can we utilize? And being creative enough to be able to kind of reach to different things or maybe you didn't think of before. I love that.
I gotta say the same thing. I think going into that, we finally got to use our esports lab a little bit as well. Like we don't get to use it very often, but we were even going in there trying to see if any takes would work. And I just think that was really cool. Like just being able to use areas we haven't used in a really long time. And I got to dress up pretty spiffy too. So yeah, that video editing, the video the conceptualization of that was the best part for me. Yeah.
Gotcha. We already heard your biggest challenges along the way. I know we asked you that before. So let's go ahead and ask you, was there a moment where something specifically, like, this is not going to plan. This is not how I thought it was going to go. And what was that moment, and how did you kind of deal with it, Jaime?
Definitely the dialogue, just trying to write a script for it. It was it didn't really make sense at first, so we had to include, like, the sport aspect as well. Because before, it didn't really make sense, like I said. But once we figured it out, it was smooth.
Nice. Nick, to you. Anything that you specifically maybe struggled with, like a specific moment or a specific thing where you're like, oh, this is not exactly how I thought it would be?
Probably just like the making of the video was a lot harder because even though I had a lot of effect in that, our video, the thing we were making it on, this iPad, for some reason, CapCut would not connect to the internet on said iPad. So we cannot access transitions, sound effects, tons of stuff we just didn't have. So we had to work with what we had. I had to find a ton of sound effects, import them into there, which is where a lot of those little goofy video game jingles came from.
Nice.
We had to think outside the box for this one.
Exactly. Clearly, you're very good and strong at being able to find those solutions. Yeah, absolutely. Micah, anything in particular like, whoa, this is kind of overwhelming? Because y'all have the experience before, like you've been here before, but certainly there's things along the way that you're like, oh, wait, that didn't go as planned.
Yeah, I was saying the number one thing for us that was really difficult was definitely like having too many ideas, Like we all wanted something to be incorporated. Like in our storyboard, we had like an airplane landing sequence, and that was in our rough draft. But we needed to cut away from that in order to actually promote what matters. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So having to like chip away at certain points that we were really like, we wanted that. That was in our original like concept, our original idea. Having to like take that away from the blueprint, like it was strugglesome. But we ended up having to get that done. But yeah, there was definitely more, and then having to reshoot and all that. But yeah, that was definitely the most like difficult part. Yeah.
I feel that for sure. What's one skill that maybe you didn't have coming in? That you do have now, or one skill that like you already kind of had, but definitely started to feel really good about?
Probably Madden. I got a little bit better at Madden, and Amon Green also helping me to give me some tips and pointers, so that was pretty awesome.
No better person to learn from.
Oh, for sure.
I love it. Nick, what was one thing about the process that maybe a skill that you sharpened or learned along the way?
Problem solving with what I said earlier, the iPad issues, just trying to think around that stuff to create a good final product that was definitely going to be limited but still good. I'm really proud that we got to make something like that.
Tech is so unpredictable in that way, for sure. Michael, what about you?
I gotta say, getting back into Fortnite, it's been too long. I literally felt like I was dusting off my keyboard. Like I remember having to go in creative and warm up so many different times before those pub matches. 'Cause I was like, when did it turn into ranks? You know, like why is it so difficult? Like I had to go into creative sometimes to even just be able to hit some of those clips. But I mean, it was cool. I got to experience like one last time that final dance with Fort, you know, and I thought it was worth it every single second. So I'm happy I relearned some of those 90s, some of those high ground retakes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, and you kind of lose some of that too, which like building remains the same, but like everything else changed already. But then you have to relearn some of those mechanics, which is pretty insane. All right, so let's go into the next one. How important was teamwork in pulling all of this together, commercial-wise, all of it? I mean,
It was pretty important because I couldn't do this by myself. I couldn't record myself. Coming up with ideas, it was just for the storyboard, especially. I think was the hardest part for us because we had so many ideas, like I said. But we got through it and we made it happen.
Nick, it's the power of the team. Talk about how important that team is when it comes together, the teamwork.
Really, if it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't have even been able to like get a video idea like really nailed down on. Because we all had like different ideas and we compiled them together. But also, it wasn't just ideas, like actually executing said ideas. Like now we got to do this to make this happen. Film this shot this way. Add this effect here. With the music. Cinematography, just everything we did, I definitely needed some help for it, and I'm so thankful I got that.
Yeah, when you get everybody playing their role, there's nothing better than that, right, Micah?
Yeah, for us, it was definitely having to come together and definitely work with each other. Like that's something like if I were on my own, I couldn't make it happen, right? Like the video editing, that was what Xander was super good at. The cinematography, Jack really helped with us for that. And then just overall motivation, like Kingston from last year, bringing in that same energy. You know, I had to adapt and learn from every single like without them. This would not be possible. Like we really like built this sort of family like already just outside from what we already were doing from school, and we translated that into Players League. And I think that just having them made this process so much more fun, but also so much more easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And Micah, you actually jumped to my next question, so I'll go to Jaime and Nick for this next one. What did you learn about working with others through this experience?
Definitely more teamwork skills, learning about each other and our pros and cons.
Definitely. Nick, yeah, what did you learn about working with others in this aspect?
Really just communicating and trying not to overthink and freak out when trying to just kind of meet new crowds. Like the whole thing is just kind of nerve-wracking to an extent because I'm kind of introverted. Like heck, even this entire time I've been like fidgeting like crazy in my seat, just thinking about this year. Like oh man, all that again. But I am glad that I did this and came out a better man.
Yeah.
Because.
You've been doing a great job here on Australia. Like it seems to translate pretty well, which I love to see. Micah, anything you learned about yourself when dealing with King Mode and everybody else?
They're energetic for sure. I know, like this year again, having to take on like that leadership position. Like, I'm usually quiet. I can't lie. Like last year, I definitely just stuck to my games, stuck to doing I was the filmer for our commercial last year. And I remember going to my mom and I was like, I got a part this year. Like everybody was like agreeing to that. So like learning so much more about like more leadership capabilities that I have, because I always felt like for me in esports, it's been quiet. I'm waiting for that time to find a game that I'm really, really good at, and just being able to step in this position, being able to have opportunities like that, it almost like reassured me that I do have like a place in esports, and I can definitely find my way somehow.
That's awesome. Yeah, so you got this lesson now. Now you need to teach it to somebody who maybe didn't participate in Players League before, right? What could you teach them about teamwork and why it's so important if you could advise somebody who's just getting into it?
Teamwork is probably the most important aspect in all of it. Just creating the video, coming together with new ideas, working together, filming it, editing it. Yeah.
Just gotta be prepared. What's your piece of advice for others who might join your program, Nick?
Just do what you love, have fun, just go full throttle into whatever passion you're interested in. I've said this before, but seriously, Spark, it doesn't even have to really be like one thing. It's not just like computers and tech. It's just anything you love. It just goes back to technology in some kind of way. Even like art and stuff. Like making digital art. I've been doing more of that recently. It's so fun. Making games, making music. It's awesome.
Passion will lead the way. Micah, how about you?
So to add on to that, I think like passion is like that's your number one. Like if you have a passion for something, go for it. Even if it's like a little like candle, like it's not like a burst of flames yet. Lead by that. You have something, go run with it. Even if it's just something little, like you see something at your school, you want to try it. Don't let nothing stop you from that. these same people around you, like even the people that I'm sitting with right now, I know y'all went through the same experiences. Like everybody in your school is super passionate. Like we all have that same passion. So why not try to make something out of it and make the most for it, you know? So that's what I would say.
Nice. Has this experience for y'all, has it changed your perspective on what you want to pursue, like career-wise, or has it strengthened a certain aspect of where you wanted to go in your career?
I think a little bit, yeah, more on the editing side and just the STEM project, the work that we did for that, just give me different perspectives and different career paths and what I can do in the future.
Was it something that you considered before, or is this brand new? Like, I want to try this out.
I think kind of brand new. Like I've never done anything like this before, so just being able to do it is pretty cool.
That's super cool. Nick, I think I know your answer to this one. Did it strengthen what you're looking to do career-wise?
Yeah, definitely. I've always, or like in recent years, I've kind of had the idea of like, what if I was like a director of some kind, or like kind of like making stuff. And I don't exactly know what I want to make yet, but this will definitely open up some new gateways.
That's amazing. Anything new that you may want to pursue, or do you want to go like full focus on directing?
I'm not really sure how it's gonna play out yet, but I know this will help in some kind of way. The more experience, the better.
You got some time. You're a freshman, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Plenty of time to figure it out. No doubt about it. What about you, Micah?
Yeah, I feel like one thing especially for a school like related to computers and cybersecurity, you're usually on your own. Like there's not really much of, communication in your field. So I think that's just something that I feel like, you can always add. Like just because you're sitting at a computer working in terminals or using different like networking software, that doesn't mean you can't talk to people. That doesn't mean you can't work as a team. So having this like outlet for the same people in my class, again, like we're pretty much all in the same class throughout the day, like being able to communicate with them more often, being able to talk to them and have these ideas, it's been like really cool. Like it's something different that I haven't really experienced over the past, like, I'm a senior, so 4 years of high school. So having that opportunity, having that new sort of light being sparked, it was cool. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. What kind of opportunities do you feel like this program may have opened up for you at the end of the day, Jaime?
Definitely more college opportunities, especially with esports and also editing, video, filmmaking, and all that.
That's awesome. Do you want to go to college for esports in particular?
If I get the chance, definitely, yeah.
Do you have any colleges in mind at this point in time?
Not right now.
Still too early in the process? Fair enough. All right, Nick, what about you? What kind of opportunities do you think this has opened up for you?
Like I said, just finding a true passion and thing that I really want to make a career out of.
I love it.
This would definitely be something awesome to pursue in the future.
Get into that career early. Yeah, exactly.
Glad I got to experience it now.
That's fantastic. Michael, what about you?
Now, I know my door's kind of already, starting to close going into college, right? But regardless, I just think that, again, like I've been into esports since like 2020. Like I know that's when like prime lockdown was. So, we're all just playing our open tournaments on Fortnite, trying to figure out how to get 2FA and all that. But yeah, like that whole entire sequence of being able to have more passion, more energy driven for esports, I can translate this into a lot more different games, and being able to have, once again, have a game that I used to be really passionate about and still have a little, this, has a special place in my heart for Fort. Being able to continuously put in hours for that is so, like, it's so worth it for me. So hopefully in the future I can still, try to get $100 on the weekend, something of that sort. But yeah, that would definitely be something that I can translate over to different games.
Nice. I know we already talked about piece of advice when we talk about like students from a commercial standpoint, like difficulties. What would you warn them about type of situation? But if a student was watching this right now and they want to get into Players League, but they're not sure what's going on with it, right? What would you tell somebody who's watching right now that they want to get part of Players League? What would you tell them, Jaime?
Go for it. Take risks. You never know where it's gonna get you, and that's what I did. I wasn't too fond of the idea of joining this, like I said before, just because I never really did anything like this, except for the esports part of it, is the reason I joined. So
this is a long way to travel for you too. Is this the longest that you've ever traveled before?
I think so. Yeah.
Very cool. What's that? Like? Was it scary? Was it like exciting? What were some of the feelings from that?
It was exciting. Definitely just getting on the plane, knowing that I'm gonna be coming to the NFL draft. So
that's amazing, man. Nick, I'll ask you the same question. What's number one, if somebody's thinking about Players League and joining it, what would you tell them?
Sorry. Just definitely do it. If you think you want to do it, absolutely give it a whirl. You'll have fun with it no matter what.
Beautiful.
I didn't even really know what I truly want to get out of this in the end, but not even just the NFL draft, but just like making something and having a good time with it. That means a lot to me.
That's very cool. Have you traveled this far before? I know you're from North Carolina.
Yeah. Kind of. Sort of. in a way.
Has this been different, or has it been kind of the same as other travels periods?
Well, I mean, like I meant to wind up in Pennsylvania, which is good. I mean, I wound up in the LA airport once while trying to go to Arizona, so I guess I went to LA. That's a long story, but yeah, it's definitely awesome to actually go somewhere cool with a little bit of more of a mindset. Like, yeah, I do want to be here. This is what I'm doing. I'm having fun.
That's awesome. Michael, let's say somebody wants to join Players League. What do you tell them?
Definitely lead by your passion. Like, I think number one, like a lot of teams that I love, they sort of have that same sort of like motto and mindset is like your passion, like you have it, you run with it. If you have that even slightest thought of wanting to do something, but don't let the doubts like say like, oh, you can't do this, or oh, it's not worth it. Like you should go for it 100%. Like being able to pursue different things that have so much different like output on it. Like again, like you could put this on an application somewhere. Like you could make money, make a living off of esports, travel, all that type of stuff. Obviously, like, that's where we're at right now. We're traveling, right? So just having that opportunity is like something that you could go full throttle on. Like you can make so much happen just by making that one decision. So I would definitely tell them to just go for it and don't ever look back.
Yeah. Hey, you made the trip to Green Bay?
I actually didn't. No, that was all Kingston.
That's
yeah.
what you were saying. Yeah, that's right. So how's the trip been? Is this the farthest you've traveled?
This is the only time I've like traveled.
Really?
As far as I'm concerned, like I've only ever been to like the South, Florida, Georgia. I'm from Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. That's all I've ever been. It's the first time I've ever been on an airplane before. Like it was surreal. Like you can ask my mom. Like she was asking, "Are you gonna be nervous?" And I was like, I was surprisingly chill about it. I was just excited. Like again, like it was something I've never done before, and being able to come to another state. Like I could say I've been to 5 states, so I think that's pretty cool to say. Like, yeah.
I think it's amazing when you have a goal in mind, how like little fear exists. It's just all about excitement. Let's get there. Let's do this. That's amazing. Y'all locked in. This is awesome. So now let's talk about the other side of that advice coin. If you had somebody give you a piece of advice, what's a piece of advice you wish that you had coming in to Players League? Jaime.
Advice, definitely time management. That last week we were trying to get everything perfect, so we'll be able to submit a good commercial.
Fantastic. Nick, yeah, over to you. What, when we're talking about like what advice you had, what did you wish you had?
Really just to get on the commercial ASAP, because we were thinking about that a lot. Emphasis on thinking. We're definitely kind of stuck in our minds for most of it. We got something put together though, and I think we're all pretty happy with it. So I'm very happy that we at least had a good result.
Very nice. Very nice. Year 2, but you've been in the program for a while. But what kind of piece of advice did you wish you had?
I wish they told me that I was gonna lose king mode. No, I'm playing. But yeah, I wish that. One thing I wish I was taught was definitely being able, I would say, to do more things in terms of just strictly like the Madden portion, right? Like I remember going into this year after not my best record with the Madden stuff. It was like, am I gonna be able to have that sort of same high that we were going to have, especially losing out on King mode's like time and energy. I was like, like I wanted to show up. I really wanted it to be that way. And, just going into it, I know that ended up being fulfilled, but definitely like, I guess more so me in like the past being able to have had that sort of same mindset. Cause like, that's not the determinant factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can have fun doing all of this and just being able to, show your interest in so many different fields. I would have loved to have known that probably like week 4, week 5, something like that. Yeah.
The cool thing about, getting to the finals is obviously y'all recognize that Players League is, you can get those opportunities. We talked about that already and how you're able to really find that advantage. But what I want to ask is, why should other students take advantage? I love that you said yes. Why should a student take advantage of Players League in your opinion?
They're gonna learn new skills. Definitely connect with more people like I did with my group, and just going a long way.
Fantastic. Nick, what about you? Why should others join Players League?
Really, the entire community of it is absolutely awesome. Definitely great time just hanging out, having fun with a bunch of people.
Even the ride over here was like, it's a pretty view. Like we all got to kind of hang out, meet each other for the first time. That's pretty cool too, yeah.
Yeah, just kind of taking the sights, enjoy the ride, and have a good time.
Fantastic. Micah, over to you.
I sort of got to piggyback off of what he said, right? Just having so many opportunities and, being in a community like this, so welcoming, like, they're all just people, like, no matter what game you play, everyone's like, again, we're all in esports. We're all passionate about what we want to do. So
like I think that that's just the number one. Being able to build those communities, build those foundations, it can really take you somewhere. So.
I've been impressed with every single one of you and the answers you've been able to give, the commercials you've been able to build. It's been fantastic. Sum it up with one word or a couple of words if you have to go there. But I want one word, if you can, to sum up the experience that you had at Players League. Jaime, I'll start with you.
Amazing.
Plain and simple. I love it. Nick, one word to describe Players League.
Excellent. It's a good time.
Okay, I'm gonna have to give my senior like wisdom answer, but like I said the same thing yesterday when I was getting interviewed by the Auburn students. I said fulfilling. I think that's definitely what I could describe this one season as. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And still like the leadership from the upperclassmen. That's fulfilling in itself, and you've done a great job of that.
Yeah, I'm Unk.
Speaking of preaching to the choir, all right? All right. So no matter what happens, guys, it's been fantastic. It's been a great experience, and we loved having y'all for sure. And, of course, after the 8 weeks of competition and everything that y'all have been able to build, it all comes down to this now. So let's go ahead and start with the esports side of the competition, where Madden and featuring Fortnite performances have been building all season long, starting with the featuring Fortnite side. A winner is C-Tech Green, for those of you watching. So congratulations to them. With just about 10,000 points more than their second place in Bayport. You see Southridge on their Kearns Academy there as well in that top 5. And then to round out the top 5, it was the other Southridge team, the black team versus the red team, that had 3rd place as well. Let's check out the Madden side now. As far as Madden is concerned, we know the results already, but again, a shout out and congratulations to Lil JD Hayes for their championship as well. Give it up, y'all. Very nicely done. Beating out the teammates, or schoolmate, you should say, Jacob and Hex from T Wingate was in 3rd place, and Z-Dog from Green Bay Southwest. So they had 3 out of the top 4 spots. Amazing job from them. And now it's what we showed up to do here. Let's check out the STEM portion now as we are about to get things going, and check out the final tallies are going to be on the right side of your screen. Quest forward for the STEM side, edging out Kearns Academy 85-83, and then C-Tech Blue with 75 in 3rd place for the STEM side. Congratulations, Quest forward, Kearns Academy, and C-Tech, every single one of y'all. Great job. So Quest forward was 1st place in the STEM standings. Now you got to take and consider that. And the esports side will have our final Players League standings. Show them up on the screen. It'll be Quest Forward with the victory, 90-85 with Kearns Academy, and C-Tech Blue with the 3rd place at 75. Y'all did a fantastic job. Incredible moment, and congratulations. Jaime, 1st place. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. How you feeling?
It's surreal. Yeah, I mean, I made it to we've made it to state for Fortnite a couple times, but now actually winning something is amazing.
Very nice. Micah, getting 2nd place here. Great job coming through, and y'all have been consistently in the top 3 and making the finals every single time. That means a lot, you know, to a program. It shows a lot about what your program's built around.
Yeah, we value consistency, so we'll take it no matter what. I know that this is going to be, something that's going to be, rewarding to all of us. So being able to put in that work and effort, it takes a long way. So I'm happy for the result, no matter what happens. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, y'all did a fantastic job. Congratulations again. Hey Nick, y'all with C-Tech? I mean, you're a freshman. You still got some time together, and you still got a top 3 in this appearance as well. Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, honestly, this is way farther than I ever expected to go. I mean, everyone was talking about this like in the beginning, like, oh man, this is such a cool final goal. I never actually thought that we would see any of it, but hey, this year we got 3rd. Maybe in the future I'll get 1st or something.
Amazing.
Yep, we got room to improve. So that's awesome.
Amazing. And it's all about sportsmanship at the end of the day. So dabs down the board, boys. Nicely done all the way down. And what an incredible day it's been here at Players League Finals here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The creativity can't leave you hanging. Oh, boy. I have never done this before. As you grab that, Nick, we'll go over to me and we'll say it's been great being able to see the kind of effort put in from all of these students here at Players League Finals. Y'all put your heart and soul in there, your ideas brought to life as well, and the way that you've been able to represent your school has been truly impressive. And we appreciate everybody for coming through as well. This program isn't just about esports, as we mentioned plenty of times throughout. It's about content creation, it's about job opportunities, and all of the rest. To every student that took part of this Players League season, this is what it's all about, right? It's amazing to be able to see giving students this opportunity to be able to explore, create, build a pathway forward at the end of the day. That's what it's all about. To all of our schools, to all of our educators, to everybody that took place, partners, everyone who made this experience possible, we thank you for believing in this program and what it represents as well. Thank you for everybody for watching, whether you're here live here at the draft or tuning in from home or at school. We thank you as well for supporting this journey that all of these students took as well. But again, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, live from the NFL Draft, this has been the 2026 Players League Madden Finals, the Players League Finals for football. Congratulations to everybody involved, and thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.